Hello, hi. I'm still promoting streams, so don't mind me. How's it going, bros? Happy Friday. It's like, what fucking day is it? It's Friday. Oh, hey, don't attack your sister. Don't attack your sister. Oh, I just realized this is not in the kitten viewing position. I'm so sorry. I've deprived you of the munchie for a few seconds. There's the munchie. He's being evil this morning. Being very evil because he wants my food. Okay. So, not a girl. So I think we're gonna draw today. Oh my god, my nose is itchy. Okay. Okay, remove my other tweet because I posted a better one. Oh. Oh, fuck. Oh god, that gave me stars. Fuck. Oh god, hi. How are we doing? Thank you! Very nice. Very nice. Okay, so I drew a little sketch of Teddy this morning. I was like, I need some more, like, lewd photos that aren't going in the not safe for work section for her. By the way, oh my god, it's so loud. By the way, I've updated her website, chat. It's finally somewhat live. Go check it out. I do have a TikTok, yes. It should be linked somewhere. Also, I finally updated Teddy's TikTok to be Teddy Chan TV instead of the weird one it was before. I'm still working on updating all of the links to it, but I've updated that finally. No live no. Why would I go live on TikTok? Why would I go live on TikTok? I would get banned. They ban too easily and I swear too much. But yeah, go check out her. Teddy Chan is my VTuber. I'm gonna... Okay. Here, I've got a... Ta-da! There we go. This is her website. Let's check it out. Oh my god, look at it. It's so beautiful. Ah, finally. There's links and stuff. There's not that much on the stuff, but I'm slowly filling out the site. However, it is live now. As you can see. Slow progress, but we're getting there. Also, she's got like a little lo-fi mix going. Alright, so if you want to listen to some lo-fi while you're on her website. Yeah. So there you go. There's, if you want to see more of it, go go to the website and click on the pages. I'm not showing you more because I want you to go look at it. All right, I worked so hard getting this shit up and live, and now it is matched up with her Fansly, so we good to go. All right, it's all matched up with her website, or her Fansly is all matched up with her website. So I'm just gonna keep posting in both places as it goes forward, like I'm doing with my stuff, because who fucking knows? She might get hit before me. I don't know. I'm definitely more active as myself. But it's fun to have an outlet for my art, and also that way if people want girl content, they can go bother Teddy Chan on me. Who the fuck? Thank you, thank you. It's expensive if I was hiring people to do all of it, but I'm doing it myself. So currently it's not expensive, it's just time consuming. So I'm making it all myself. But yeah, Teddy Chan is streaming next, so if you're curious about her, she's still streaming with her old model right now. She's getting an update. I'll show you, actually. Let me just show you, because I want to show you the little sketch I drew of her this morning while I was trying to wake up my brain enough to stream. I've just been forcing myself to draw her a bunch so that I get used to drawing her consistently-ish, or more consistently. I'm not good at drawing things consistently. That's like my main problem I have. But it's fine. Takes practice. Okay. And we're here. This is her. This is my sketch I drew. I'll just do the replay. You guys can watch me draw it. Although I was stupid and I didn't change the background color when I was doing the highlights, so you can barely see it, if at all, when I'm drawing it, whatever. Anyway, so we're gonna work on finishing this art. I have a lot of stuff posted, but I did all the art that's like the splash art on her website. I made a little Danish, but it is crumbly as fuck, dude. Ah. Danish. Mm. 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 Move that for now. We don't have a video we're watching. See? You can see the highlights after I change the color better, but anyway, see you later. So yeah, we're gonna work on this. Hide that for now. Hide that stuff for now, actually. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, putting her in a swimsuit. I don't know if I'll do the hair accessories or not. I haven't decided. I should put her anklet on, actually. I should do that. Yeah, I'll put her hair accessories on. It's better to keep it. Yeah. I really need to map out her, like, nail polish and toe situation, so I have a good reference sheet and I don't have to keep fucking looking at it. No, she's always been Teddy Chan. She started as an OC for like one of my videos like forever ago, but everyone really liked it, so I decided to make her into a VTuber. The hair has to be down. What's my relationship to her? What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm her creator, I guess? Yeah, exactly. She is my child. So, here, I'll show you the actual... her actual... Here's some more fully done art of her. This is her... I guess she's not wearing her jacket here. This is her new updated design with her little... You know how in South Park, Cartman has the little Cupid me? We thought it would be funny to give her like a Cupid bee. So we have Sticky. That's the bear's name, is Sticky. And this little guy that flies around her. Like, it's not actually a bad question, it's just so funny it caught me off guard. I just was not expecting it. Huh? I don't like going live on TikTok because they would ban me. Anyway, side profile. Kind of in between her chibi model and her full model avatar. Okay, and then this is one I'm working on. I drew her in a little maid outfit. This is Sticky. Okay, go away. Here. Actually, let's just go here. So this is her updated design, her full design. Obviously, this is the sketch. It's not rendered yet, because I have to do that still. I'm rendering her chibi model update first, because that's, like, way faster. So, I mean, like, I'm on T, so, like, if my voice drops, it drops. I just kind of, like, do whatever I want to with my voice. I do Teddy Chan's voice constantly, and then I sing, so that's all the voice training I'm really doing. Okay, where's her jacket? Okay, full outfit. I am turning 30 in September. It's coming up.
I had to give you the pets, sir.
Exactly. So close to beekeeping age. Ugh. Oh my god. Dude, I keep getting munchy hair in my eyes. I know, I get that a lot. I get that quite often. Oh my god. It's called Don't Go Outside Ever. Never leave the house. Sun is the enemy. You literally can't wear enough sunscreen to prevent it, so just don't go outside. I say after I fully spent like half of yesterday outside drawing. Oh my god, it was so nice though. But dude, I got so much stuff off of my list done. All right, all that I have to do left all that I have to do left is film the private stream video. Didn't get around to doing that. Things just kept happening. But that's okay, because that's next month is for playing catch up on all of my work I'm behind on. So it's okay. You actually can button the cum. If you think about it. If you sit in the cum, that would be butt in the cum. Just saying. Yes, I like her. But anyway, so yeah, this is her design. I'll show you her chibi model. Her facial expressions I've been going through. I'll add more for sure, but that's what we got for now. This is her chibi design. Thank you! Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, no, I edited so many things. Oh, the other thing I have to do is I have to film. Well, it's not really filming. I just have to record audio for Teddy Chan's first Not Safe for Work video. And then... Actually, it's not really going to be a Not Safe for Work video. It's just going to be an audio. But that's not really the point. Man, is that a munchie hair on my food? Munchie. Okay. Got it off, but now my hands are covered in jelly. Yes. Yes, I am a boy. Oh my god, he's falling asleep. No, he's not. He's like, no, I'm not. Are you gonna pass out? Sleepy kitten? Sleepy? It's like, I'm not sleepy, Dad. I love you, sir. I love you, Mr. Kitty. I only speak English, no Spanish. Okay, anyway. So yeah. That's what we're working on. Her logo. Full body rendered drawing. Yeah. I like it so far. And then she has a lot of lewd photos as well that I'm working on and have finished. And posted some yesterday. If you are into that. But yeah. Another one I'm working on. Full body made outfit. Anyway, we're gonna draw this today. I can see that lemon. Oh, thank you, thank you. And then on top of that, my website is finally getting up to date. If you've noticed, it looked like nothing was happening for a minute because I was replacing a lot of embedded videos with a different type of embedded video. I had it linking somewhere. I was hosting them somewhere else and it was so fucking expensive, so I'm just internally hosting it, but I have to split it up a little bit so that they're not as long and beefy individually. That's why they're cut into 30-minute chunks or whatever. I've split up the bloopers on some of them. Anyway, that's the reason. It looked like nothing was happening, but it was happening. It was happening. So now I'm uploading more stuff to the paid section, trying to catch up on that. I paused on fixing that for now. So I'm working on, I'm gonna start getting the streams uploaded soon. I got it set up for that, and then I'm gonna have the video, like the paid video section's gonna get a lot more soon. I'm just uploading a bunch and then I'll start posting them once they're uploaded and stuff. I have to like track down matching photos and stuff for each of them, so it takes a bit of time for each video. Munchie. What are you doing, sir? Is that a comfortable way to eat? You be silly kitten? Silly kitten? Thank you, Clara! Thank you! But yeah. Anyway, so new videos are up on my website. I'm trying to catch up with everything that's on Fansly and then trying to get all of the old porno videos up on there as well. It's a fucking process. I have too many videos and I keep making more of them, which isn't helping. So that's why I'm trying to stop filming more stuff until I get the stuff that I currently have to finished. It's just one of those things where it's like I'm constantly like creating more work for myself after I make progress, so that's why I'm using next month to fully catch up. Sir, why are you screaming in the hallway? It's crazy kitten. Okay, this Danish is a lot of food for me right now, so I'm gonna put it over here. I don't know why I grabbed something so heavy. Back to coffee. I actually need to make more coffee soon. I'm almost out of coffee. True, sometimes he's gotta scream. What site? My site. My website. My website. If you want to know what my website is, it's indigowhitetv.com. Alright, that's my website. Thank you. But yeah, only if you're 18 and up, which you should only be 18 and up if you're here, because all my content is 18 and up, because I just have no desire to talk to children. No offense. Like, I actually don't even know any kids, so I'd like to keep it that way. Alright, so we're gonna work on these. Do I want to change it? I might change it just so it's easier for me when I'm drawing this. I'll change it back when I'm doing this other stuff. Okay. Move that, move that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We're set. If you want my brush info, here you go. Feel free to screenshot. People always ask about this brush. Nothing in the color dynamics. Not really anything here either. So, yeah. There you go. But it's a good brush. See? Anyway, yes. Teddy's first lewd stream is next Thursday. It's gonna be on the more rudimentary side because her full model's obviously not finished yet. But to be fair, I like wake up and like physically have to be creative or I cry. Okay, we should listen to something first. Okay, chat. Oh god, do we watch more of the Diddy trial and cry? Teddy Chan is on YouTube. Her channel is... Here, I'll link you. I will link you to her stream. I'll also just like redirect to the stream afterwards, but that's her channel. That's her channel. I don't know. I don't know if we can. But if you go to her Twitter, it's not hard to find it. Oh gosh. She's almost at 500 followers on Fansly. Oh, she's past 500. She's at 515 now. Last I checked, she was at 500. Or at like 449. Or 499. Sorry, I can't talk. I'm personally very proud of the wall. The wall photo I finished. I would show it on here, but I cannot do that. Ooh. Dude, wait, why does that always happen? I fucking can't. I hate when that happens. Yeah, but chat, you never see anything. If there's ever anything showing on stream that shouldn't be, you don't see it. Alright? Because snitches get stitches. Okay, where is it? Oh, there it is. Found you. Found you, bitch. Hello, sir. What are you doing? You being evil? You want a piece? Oh, hi, baby. What are you doing? Mr. Kitty. You just wanted to get to your tower easier? Okay. Okay, bye, sir. Ah! Thank you. Yeah, I, went to school for art originally. Graphic design, technically. Actually, went to school for a few things. I was very indecisive. I couldn't make up my fucking mind. Couldn't make up my mind if I wanted to be in hospitality management, do graphic design, or if I wanted to be like a nutritionist. Those were my three avenues I was thinking. And then I just went with, none of that. So we're here now. Dude, me as a hotel manager, well, A, I would have owned the hotel. No. No, but me as I would have been annoying as shit. I would have been a terrible manager. At least to work for, because I have high standards. But yeah, no, I if you haven't been following me since like the early days, I was very into fitness. I mean, like, I'm not into fitness now, I just don't have time. Anyway, but yeah, no. Like, I've done dance my whole life. I did cheer through high school. I was insane about that. There's a reason that I eat carrot chips as a snack, okay? It's not just because they're delicious. It's also because it's good for you. Alright, where do I want to start with this? Oh wait, we were gonna listen to something. Sorry, my brain. Focus, focus, focus. No, I think a lot of people have my photo as their wallpaper because I sell wallpapers. I have like a whole pack of what was it, like 500 photos or some shit of wallpapers. Okay, we have stream ends at 1:30. It's 11:30. We have 2 hours. So whatever we watch has to be under 2 hours. So if we watch a Queen video, gotta be under 2 hours. Which is the last Diddy one we watched. We watched the Bi-Curious one, didn't we? Yes, I always forget to give it a like. I don't. Also, the problem is, like, sometimes my phone or iPad or whatever will autoplay her videos, and I'll have to, like, run to turn it off. So it'll show that it's, like, partially watched, and I don't know if it was actually watched or not. True, I would bully the customers. I'm great at bullying the customers. Okay, I think dude, I don't know which one we left off on. That's funny. We either left off on... We either watched the Bi-Curious one, or that's where we left off. Which is it? Damn, I wish it was warmer today. It's cold as fucking Seattle today. It was really warm yesterday and the day before. Isn't she in a hotel room with yellow walls in all of them? I do put the links in the description, yeah. Like, how warm is it today? Do not come and preach religion at me, bitch. Not here. Not this early. No. That's your happiness, not mine. Only a high of 73 today. And it's cloudy all day. Boo! Boo, and then this weekend is cloudy and rainy. It's still warm though. Like, it's still 70s. And then next Wednesday is like 80. And sunny. Nice. Next week will be warm. That's not bad. Disrespectful. You came here for respect? You were lost. Hello, Jeffu. Arnar, chat. Was I mean? Was I mean to the poor religious guy in chat trying to convert me to his religion against my will? I don't care. Also, Lemon, I did not get your link. Tell me the name of the video. And just tell me the title of it, because it didn't link. Okay, it was that one. Okay. So we're on the Bi-Curious one. Bet. Alright, this should be more or less the right amount of time. So we're gonna watch the next Queen video. No, I was enjoying the heat because I could just like walk outside for a little bit and then I'd come back inside where it was not hot anymore because I have AC. I think if I didn't have AC, I would not be enjoying it very much. We're gonna go there again. Let's take. Okay. Getting it pulled up. There it is. There we are. Okay. Wait. Perfect. Cool. We in the box. Hello! Enjoy the sleep. Wait, 50 Celsius or Fahrenheit? The Dubai chocolate would A, kill me, and B, looks disgusting. It looks like trash. It looks like vomit. It looks like a jump scare. What are you talking about? Mm-mm. Omar, you're crashing out because I don't want to convert to Islam. There are levels of pathetic that you're reaching that were previously unknown to humanity. My God. No, girl, this is me default. This is my default level of spicy. Actually, if anything, this is like on the lower end. No, Dubai chocolate is like, okay, so you know how Dubai has zero culture? It's a fake city run by fake billionaires and creating a fake culture, and acting like it actually has something of substance other than money laundering. You know how that's what Dubai is? There's like a chocolate bar that has like, I don't remember where the actual mixture is from. It's from an actual Middle Eastern culture. I don't remember which one. I'm allergic to it, so I saw it and then disregarded immediately, but I keep being bombarded by it because it's so stupidly, I don't know why people are fucking obsessed with it. I hate when people go like crazy about a food and then it becomes viral and then it's like everyone is obsessed with adding it to everything and it's just like not that great to begin with. Anyway, it's like a chocolate bar that has like way too much fucking filling in it. It's like pistachio and like cooked like crispy dough bits, essentially. I don't remember what it's called, but it's just like a pistachio paste crunchy mixture inside of chocolate. Looks disgusting and would kill me. Yeah, and you can only get it in Dubai. Like the actual chocolate bar that made it popular, you can only get it in Dubai, but like you can also just fucking make it. And also it's a thing from another culture, so I genuinely don't know why it's called Dubai chocolate other than like people think it makes it sound expensive for some reason because they have that connotation with Dubai. I personally think Dubai and think like Orwellian dystopian nightmare, but like I guess people have different tastes. It's just, yeah, it's disgusting. It reminds me of the fucking Labubu shit. The bear. 24 karat gold, the bear. That's like the only funny part. Is that. But yeah, no, it's like worse than Vegas though. Because at least Vegas is like fully understanding they're just a massive casino. You know, they're not pretending to be anything else. What other YouTube? This is the only YouTube I've ever had. But yeah. No, Vegas is a fucking hellhole. You couldn't pay me to go to Vegas, honestly. Girl, it has been literally 5 years. Okay? It's been 5 years since Pornhub's been gone. 5 years. It's time to move on. But yeah, both of those places seem like the pit of hell to me, so no. Oh my god, go fucking watch the video. I'm done answering stupid questions. Jesus. It's not my fault you don't look for answers. Anyway, we're gonna watch this and I'm gonna draw. And the name title. Okay. Put it in the description. Okay, 3, 2, 1, play. Jesus.
Bada bing, bada boo.
One of Sean Combs' latest
How's the
girlfriends
volume?
takes the stand under a pseudonym. On the stand, her name is Jane Doe, and she is about to tell the jurors about her relationship with Sean Combs with Diddy
How's the
up
volume?
until his arrest. So all of the previous witnesses that we've had,
Very
most of them,
toxic,
Diddy
like
and
your
Cassie broke up
religion.
in 2018. That's like 7 years ago.
Like your religion
Same
is
thing with Mia.
toxic.
They stopped working together for a very
I
long time. I mean, it's been
don't think you
want to
be throwing stones in glass houses, Omar.
She has been there up until his arrest. She was dating him November
Alright,
of
let's draw this.
2023 when Cassie Ventura drops her lawsuit.
Okay.
Then in 2024, I believe it was
Okay,
May,
perfect.
the CNN video drops. Jane is
CNN video is the hotel.
glove
yes,
outta
the
here.
Intercontinental Hotel video of Sean Combs assaulting Cassie. Jane is actually in
I
Sean
feel like where
Combs's
they
bed.
failed
They're
in the
both
Diddy
asleep.
case
The
is
sons
that they
come
didn't
knocking on
have
the door, and
any,
they're like, "You gotta come downstairs. Something is happening." They all go
They didn't have
downstairs,
any
there's, like, a
expert
massive
witnesses,
huddle.
and I'm
Everybody
really
is, like,
confused why they
the
didn't.
energy is so
Like, I feel like
tense.
that would have
Jane
helped
says she wants
quite
to
a lot.
throw up because this is her first time watching the video as well. She's there.
You know?
And then 6 months later, September of 2024, Diddy goes to New York City, and this is when he gets arrested in New York
Alright.
City. Jane is actually about to fly from LA to New York City to meet up with
there.
him. So clearly, there are so many moments that people are going to
I'm gonna
want
do
to
the
know more
face
about
first.
because what do you mean? This is like one of his latest girlfriends. She was with him up until his arrest.
Hey, baby,
But there's this one moment in court where it just feels like
Why
the
you crying,
entire
good
courtroom
boys?
kind of doesn't know how to respond
What's
to the
wrong,
things that
honey?
Jane is saying on the stand. I mean, it's such a big
What's
part
wrong?
of the case since
What's
day
wrong?
one. But nobody talks about
going
this
on with you,
part
puppy?
on a deep level. It feels like a giant elephant in the
happening?
room, which is
Why you crying?
we know what Diddy has done. But why does Diddy like to watch other men have intimate relations with his girlfriends? I mean, so much so that he clearly puts his girlfriends in emotionally tough positions where it's alleged that they don't really consent to it, that they're coerced into doing
being
these things.
crazy.
It's like a fixation that he has. He needs to watch this
Wanna be on
happen
camera,
for
Bubbles?
days at a time, once a week. This activity takes up like
Bubbles.
what? 15-20% of his life
What are you doing?
if all the testimonies on the stand have been accurate. I mean, the question of whether or not all parties consented, whether or not this is legal, that's up
You
to
are
the 12
silly.
jurors to
Why are you
decide.
doing this?
But the question of why he's even
just wanna
into
play?
this is just kind of always like lingering
play
in
right
the
now,
air.
sweetie.
People talk about it in the hallways, but everyone's like, I don't really know. I mean, maybe it's like a kink, I guess. Like, it's just lingering. Even at the hotel nights, Jane, so she doesn't call them freak-offs. He would call them hotel nights with her. And then with other assistants, he started calling them king nights. So there's different variations. Freak-offs, hotel nights, king nights.
Good job.
Jane says that she would have to engage in
Good
certain conversations with the men that were
Good girl.
invited. Combs would
That's a
be
good dog.
watching, and
Yes, good
you know,
girl.
she's asked,
Get that.
what are some
Get it,
examples
boys.
of the things you would say in
Get
these
it,
rooms
boys.
at hotel nights during these 3 years or 3.5 years? I would say a lot of cheating role play, that they would be, that Sean left town and I'm
girl.
all alone with me and whoever, and I'm sneaking in this entertainer and it's just
Good
me
girl,
and this
boys.
entertainer, and I'm just fantasy talking about how Sean's on a plane and I
Oh
couldn't
my
wait to get
gosh.
this entertainer all alone to myself, etc.
Meanwhile, he's in
Hello.
court.
Thank you.
Yes, and one of the entertainers
Oh.
actually, well, many of them, they say that he's
I'm
very
sorry, I
distracting
haven't
in the
really
corner
checked
because
my
he's very
notifications or
loud with
messages
his
on
self-pleasuring
anything because I
movements.
have been
So
too
she's like
busy.
having all this fantasy role play talk while he's just like in the corner.
I have had no chance.
And when
to,
that's
like,
not happening,
look
Jane
at
says,
anything
even when they were
recently.
not at the hotel nights, aka the freak-offs, Combs would ask Jane to FaceTime the entertainers, have intimate video calls with them, while she secretly screen mirrors her phone onto a giant TV for Combs to watch. So I'm assuming it's like her video calling these entertainers being like, he's out of town, let's have a steamy video call, and he's like watching on the TV.
And does the
So
entertainer
weird.
know that
No.
this is? Oh.
She said specifically
What state
she
are
did
they
not
in?
tell them because she wanted them to feel comfortable. Sometimes Sean Combs would just ask
I
her
feel
to
like that
ask
could be
the
a crime,
entertainer
depending on
for
the
pictures
state.
of their private parts so that they could both look at them. Jane says about these pictures, Combs would say, like, get them to send you something or FaceTime them or get them to send you something, and so they would. Jane says in the middle of their relationship, sometime in 2022, she actually comes across a word because she's trying to figure out what their relationship
why is
is
Diddy
at this
such a
point and
cuck,
why
though?
Combs wants her so desperately to engage in these activities with other men in front of him, and she doesn't even enjoy it. She says, I came upon a word that
Nice.
is called
Thank you.
cuck,
Thank you, Steve.
and the whole gallery.
Do I know
literally got members
Hitler?
of the press coming
Do
to the
you
edge of the
have
sit-down.
brain
They're, like,
damage? What are
leaning
you
forward
talking
because
about?
She's such a soft-spoken
Like,
girl.
personally?
Combs, on the other hand, he's not happy. He does not like this line of questioning.
What do you
He's
mean?
frozen, and then he starts shaking his head ever so slightly, like, no. Jane is further asked, what is that? That is a man who is in a relationship with a woman, and he's turned on watching his woman have sex with another man. I was just trying to kind
Dude,
of deep
my
dive
iPad
on
has
all
been
the
getting
reasons why
so
they had
bad with
derived so
lagging.
much pleasure from watching their women be with other men. I just wanted to know why my
So,
partner wanted so
honey,
many of these
I'm
nights
busy. I can't
and
play
what
with
was
you right
driving
now.
him.
I
I was
love you
just
so
trying to
much,
find an
though.
understanding of
I
it
will
that he wasn't
yoink you and
vocal
put you on my
about.
lap.
Is she being
if you
questioned by the
really want
prosecutor
attention.
or by the defense
The
attorney?
defense.
Oh.
So what was your
Do these on a different
understanding
layer.
of what you learned? I mean, there was a multiple list of reasons. One of them was that the cuck derives pleasure, seeing his woman receive pleasure from the other man, and a few other things. It feels like Jane does not want to say what other things. What are some of the other things?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab you.
Some of the other things were that
No, come here.
cucks could also have a
Come here.
bi-curiosity, that they're too ashamed to experience themselves, and so they use the woman to venture out in this curiosity
Yoink.
without actually doing the act itself. Which
You can't have my
I
food.
felt like
No.
a lot of dots were connecting in the gallery.
You are being
because
crazy.
It makes
No.
sense. Now, this is obviously presumptuous. We don't know Combs'
undid my
sexuality,
stroke.
but it would make sense psychologically that if he does not want to engage in any sort of
I'm
loving
busy.
commitment with
I'm
Jane
busy. I love
after
you.
these
I'm
hotel
busy.
nights, perhaps
I
it's
am
because
busy.
he wants to be Jane. He's jealous. So there was like lots of dots connecting in the gallery. A lot of people were whispering about it in the hallways after of all of their theories, but we're not psychologists, so we don't really know.
Wait.
But these are moments,
good
yes.
goal.
You say he doesn't want to engage with Jane after these hotel nights?
He will have intimate relations, but he will
Hi,
not
doggy.
have romantic
Hi,
moments
ma'am.
with Jane, which is
Mrs.
all she was
Ma'am.
wanting for.
Got
And so
it.
some people are
If you have any
theorizing,
fan
we're
art, I have a
armchair
fan art
psychologists
section
in the
on my
hallways
site.
of
You
these
can submit it there.
this courthouse. They're just saying maybe it's because he wants to be
I'm
Jane. He
physically
doesn't love
too
Jane, he
busy
wants
to be
be
checking
Jane.
messages.
You know, he wants
like
to be in
for
that position.
at least a month.
Others are saying, no, it's more degradation.
can't.
Like he just wants to humiliate women. So it's kind of up in the air. Nobody really
Can't check
knows.
messages,
And a
can't
lot of
check
the jurors,
DMs,
as
can't
Jane is
check
saying this, they're snapping
mentions,
their
really.
heads to look at Sean Combs, and he is
I
statuesque.
can't add
None of
anything
his
else
family
to
and
my
friends have
to-do
any sort of
list
response either.
right now.
Would voyeurism or
So,
escapism also fit this
you wanna
fantasy?
go
Jane thinks about it for a second
my
and says,
site?
no, I think
You can
I would use the word
submit
for
any
him
fan
more
art you
so.
want to on
A
there.
few of the people in the gallery cock their heads a little bit. But what's even more interesting in this is this line of questioning, like I said, is not coming from the government. This line of questioning is coming from Tenny Garagos, Combs' own counsel. If Sean Combs looks upset
So
about where this
weird.
is going, why is Tenny Garagos asking Jane this? It doesn't seem like Sean Combs wants to associate his lifestyle with those terms. And I say lifestyle loosely because this is a trafficking case. But perhaps it's embarrassing, but it might be the best shot that the defense has. The defense needs the jurors to believe that Sean Combs is not a monster. He is not committing crimes. He is just a cuck.
I mean, I hate it because that is actually a good argument, but like it's not because all of the evidence is pretty obviously not that. Like, yes, he's a cuck and he's abusive and should go to jail.
We
Like,
would like
what
to
a...
thank today's sponsors who have made it possible for Rotten
Two
Mango
things
to support the
can
New York Immigration
coexist.
Coalition.
But because
are
they
an
didn't
umbrella
have any
policy and
fucking
advocacy
expert
organization that
witnesses,
represents over
it didn't
200
matter.
immigrant and refugee right groups throughout New York. This episode's partnerships
dumb.
have also made it possible to support Rotten Mango's growing team, and we'd also like to thank you guys for your continued support. Some of the quotes and statements have been shortened, combined, and condensed for brevity. Today's episode has a few content disclaimers regarding mentions of domestic violence, physical and sexual assault, and trafficking, so please take a break if you need to. You guys also know the drill. At the time of filming this episode, Diddy is innocent until proven guilty, and
Not
all the
anymore.
charges that he's been indicted on are
I mean,
still
like-
alleged. Any and all observations from
You know what I
me,
mean.
my researchers, have happened in real time inside the courtroom, and they are just observable actions. I'm like, hey, I saw Sean Combs scratch his head and mouth these words to somebody. That doesn't mean I know the intention behind these actions. That doesn't mean I know what Sean Combs is thinking. That doesn't mean I know if he's guilty or innocent of the charges that he has been charged with. It just means I saw him scratch his head. So with that being said, let's get into it. Where to find the gold of all the powerful? One secures the gold of the spirit when he finds himself. When he finds himself, he finds freedom and all riches.
My religion isn't
achievement, and
toxic
prosperity.
except against,
That is literally what Sean Combs
you know,
is reading
more
in
than
court.
half of the
He walks
population
into
at
the
this
courtroom
point.
most days now with a new little book. He has ditched
Okay,
the Bible.
buddy,
He has replaced
whatever
it
you
with this
say.
bright red book with this orange circle in the middle. It was giving a little bit culty. Nobody could get a good read on it.
Wait,
I'm
so
like,
his like truth journal is gone too?
no, he has his truth journal. He's got this little accordion
Like, at least you admit
file
it.
Oh,
thing
like a
that
little
opens
At least you're
up,
not
and he's got the little
delusional.
truth journal. He hasn't been whipping it out as obviously these days. I haven't seen truth written on there since the first 2 times. Yeah, now he just like, he shoves it in, he did the little sleeping thing, and then now I'm like, it's either out already, but like we get there before he gets there. It's weird. So nobody could get a good read on this book, and I'm like scooching to the side, squinting. I'm like trying to see if I could smuggle in a magnifying glass, but I also don't want to get kicked out of the courtroom. I'm trying to see what the hell this book is. I come home, Google it, bright red cover, orange circle in the middle. There are certain quotes in the book that read, "Thoughts have a creative of controlling force in the exact ratio of their constancy, intensity, and power, comparable to the wavelength and wattage of a broadcast system. What you exhibit outwardly, you are inwardly.
Such
you
a
are the
random
product of your own thoughts. What you believe yourself to be, you are. Desire
reading
is the
during
generating
court.
power of all human action, and without it, no one can get very far."
Okay.
I just like, maybe the part that he takes a little too seriously
Okay.
is the part in the book that reads, "Success is a matter of never ceasing application. You must forever work at it diligently, otherwise it takes wings and flies away," which there have been never ceasing applications from the defense team. So maybe he's taken it too literally. The book also has special appearances to talk about how persuasive Hitler, Stalin, and Japanese warlords are. So there's that. That is the magic of believing. While I'm sure it's a great book with a lot of great points made throughout,
Magic of
it is
believing.
interesting that this is the book that Sean Combs decides to pick up
Lol.
mid-trial. I mean, perhaps
Yeah,
he
a
genuinely
violent
loves the book,
cuck
and
indeed,
he's just in his
Jeffu.
studious era. Or it's the intellectual defendant who has a desire to do the inner work ploy. Because at one point he starts reading the book
Sorry, I'm
mid-testimony, and I was
half
trying to count the
reading chat.
seconds of how long he's on one page, because I'm like, I don't believe this man is actually reading this book right now, because I can barely read books when I'm so immersed into a case that have nothing to do with the case, because my brain is just not registering it. There are more high stakes things going on, and he is the defendant of his own criminal federal trial, and you're reading a book
I'm
in the middle of the
confusion.
court day. So I'm like,
I
I
do
don't
not
think you're reading.
understand.
I think this is fake. So I'm counting all the seconds on how long he's on the same page, which I will say was a very long time. And one of his attorneys whispers something. He puts the book away and then slams his right cheek into his right hand like a little child that just got scolded. It's very interesting.
So it's a book about like law of
Manifest-
attraction
yes.
almost.
So it's like The
Manifestation. I keep
Secret?
interrupting you today. I'm sorry.
No,
yes.
no.
About manifestation.
Mm.
Yeah. Now, the rest of the defense team are also in a funk. Donaldson is walking into the courtroom just talking to himself. Usually he's engaged with
They're the
everyone in the room.
same
He's a
size.
socializer. But today, he's muttering to himself, "It's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day." He says it twice to nobody in particular. He looks like he's
That's funny.
aged 2 years in the past, 48 hours. Brian Steele, on the other hand, He's having a good time. Him and Nicole Westmoreland, they're like, we're flying back home probably in like a month. I'm excited, okay? Brian Steele is texting. His font is literally the largest setting that you can place on the iPhone. It's massive. I'm like, sir, you are so lucky we're not trying to read your text messages right now. It's giving dad vibes. And when Nicole Westmoreland walks in with a Prada bag, he greets her, Nicole West money.
I don't know what you're talking about right now.
Brian Steele greets Nicole Westmoreland as Nicole West money, and now we can't not call her Nicole West money.
I'm
It
sorry.
just like rolls off.
So they're pretty relaxed.
I'm actually very surprised that they're so relaxed because Brian Steele has been, I think, unconsensually taking the villain role in this trial.
I don't know.
I can see that
I'm
he
also
seems
lost.
very depresso during those days, which makes sense because I was talking to someone who used to be an attorney, and they were like, that's kind of what happens when you have such a big defense team. You don't want every defense member to be a bad guy. You need one bad guy that does all the bad stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that you're saying that every day you go in there, all these attorneys, total different energy every single day.
Every single day. It's to the point where if we have a witness on the stand, the press pews are kind of calculating who's going to do the cross-examination. Because sometimes Nicole Westmoney walks in,
Westmoney,
like bright colors. Or like very tight-fitted clothes, and when you're standing on the lectern, everyone is staring at your entire figure.
No,
the back
what
of
I'm
your
trying
figure.
to
So
tell you
sometimes
right
she's
now
wearing
is I
super
don't have
tight-fitted
time
clothes.
to be
The press
looking
pews are
stuff
like,
up.
Nah, she's not doing the cross today.
Ah.
So everybody's got a different energy. Brian Steele,
I don't have
anytime
time to go
he's
research
talking or
stuff.
doing
I don't
a
have
cross,
free time right
he's
now
in
to
his
be
own
doing
world.
stuff like that.
He does not look like he
I can't
is
even, like,
registering
check
his environment.
my DMs.
When he's not, he's like giddy. Nicole Westmoney's walking in. He's having a good time.
Interesting. And this is like day one of Jane's.
Yes.
Okay, so and it's gonna last 5 days,
Like a
6
week, yeah.
days.
Now,
Okay.
Father Arun is also not immune to dad vibes either. Everybody's just becoming more of a dad as the trial progresses. During one part where jurors are not present, they're going over summary charts. Summary charts are given to the jurors at the very end, and it's like compiled evidence from both sides.
Mm-hmm.
He says, can we cut down this exhibit so that it achieves that purpose without being 49 pages worth of text messages? He's talking to the government, some of which appear to be for non-illicit purposes, such as the text message on April 23rd, 2023, or on spending money on flowers. Prosecutor Slavic stands up. Your Honor, flower refers to marijuana. And there's like a little pause, and the judge and the gallery, they're all giggling at the miscommunication. And the judge is
That's
like
funny.
such a champ. He's like, I stand corrected. Now, Jason Driscoll, Raspberry Air, has also been on the come up recently. He has been invited into Combs's inner circle.
He's like the youngest attorney on his side that's been
Dude, the
quiet this whole
nicknames
time.
for the
Okay, to
attorneys
give you an
is so
idea,
funny.
Mark Agnifilo and Tenny Garagos are founding partners
I'm
of
gonna grab
the law firm.
A new
Which founding
actually,
partners?
no,
You're
I'm
like the top dog.
I'll do
Alexandra
it.
Shapiro is a founding partner of her law firm. Brian Steele, I think him and his wife run his own law firm. Same with Nicole Westmoney and Donaldson. The only random person is Anna Esteveo is also part of a firm, but I think she's like a partner. She's been kind of quiet recently, but Jason Driscoll is an associate at Alexandra Shapiro's firm.
You can't have
And
my
he
food.
just looks so young compared to the rest of the defense team members who all have like white hairs, except for maybe Tenny Garagos and Shapiro.
He's trying
and
to
Esteveo.
steal.
He looks like he was born yesterday in the best way possible. So we're sitting there like
He's
gotta
trying
be
to
doing
steal my
something
food.
right, because Alexandra Shapiro does not seem like the type of bring your son to
Leave
work
it
day type of person.
done.
She's only gonna put someone on her team in this case if she thinks that they're worth it. So we thought he's a dark horse, like something's gonna happen, he's gonna be on the come up, and we were right. He's been talking a lot lately. He went up
True, I
against
haven't
Comey
picked any flowers
recently, and the
today.
judge sided in his favor. Although I do think that
That's a lie.
maybe
I
the deck was
pick flowers
stacked
when I
better
woke up.
for him. And it's very interesting. Every morning he gets a more passionate dap up from Diddy now. He's been taking a lot more. And
are you
at
so
one
cute?
point,
Don't
when the
bite me.
judge does side with Jason Driscoll, Raspberry Air, he whips around. And my researcher was like dying at this because he does not smile. It's not goofy.
Look
He
at
literally
him.
just gives like the most serious
so
wink at
cute.
Diddy. And Diddy and Mark Agnifilo are like, damn, we were not expecting this kid. It's very interesting, their interactions to watch. Even when he is talking to the judge, everybody's looking at him, like waiting to see how he handles it. He's also brought his wife, I believe, who sits with the friends and families of Sean Combs. And at one point, he's dapping up Diddy in the morning. Diddy, he's like, oh, I think my wife is over there. I don't really hear what Jason Driscoll's saying, but they point towards the family and friends. And the woman who comes with Jason Driscoll is waving at Diddy. And Diddy is like dramatically pointing at Driscoll, being like, he's good, thumbs up. He's good. But he is still not the smoothest attorney. Some mornings he will miss the dap up with Combs, so they just kind of awkwardly hug instead. Also, there's this awkward moment when he first starts talking and the court reporter doesn't know who the hell he is, so he's like, who are you?
The court reporter.
Yeah, and he's got to be like, Jason Driscoll. He handled it very well, but it is very interesting. But I don't know how long he's going to stay in Diddy's favor, because here's the thing with Diddy. Anytime any one of his attorneys doesn't get what Diddy wants, he just looks at them and kind of sighs. Like, this is so disappointing.
I would hate to be his attorney.
I mean, they don't know a moment of peace, these defense attorneys. Mark Agnifilo is drinking water because all of them are getting sick, and Diddy is literally analyzing him drinking water, watching him fully turn to the side. Just watching him drink water. He can't even stay hydrated in solitude. Alexandra Shapiro, though, I will say, she does appear upset with everyone. She always looks stressed. She always is kind of scowling. She gives me tough love type of vibes, though, because anytime Driscoll loses a case with the judge and is trying to get something into evidence or not get it into evidence, judge doesn't side with him. The rest of the defense team, they look disappointed. Alexandra Shapiro always mouths a very stern, good job. But it's like so aggressive. It just feels like so tough love.
She's basically his boss, right?
Yeah. And so even when he doesn't get the judge on his side, she's like, good job. But it's like very intense. I'm like, what is happening? There's so many different dynamics. This would make me cry. Alexandra Shapiro is also walking around with a massive tissue box. She has been going row by row, passing out tissues to each of the defense attorneys, who grab one and they just start honking their noses into it. Every single person in this courtroom is sick again. A few days ago, there is a sketch artist that sits right behind the defense table. So there's two that sit on the right side in front of us. Sometimes one of them doesn't show up. Jane is always there. Then on the left side, there's another sketch artist.
He just has such a creepy face.
Right behind Diddy and the defense team. She's in the very first row of the pew. She
kind of like
coughing, and it sounds
Bill Cosby.
I'm not gonna lie, it sounds very juicy.
They have the same energy.
Right in front of her is Combs, the defense team. Right behind her in the pew is the Combs family.
So she's sandwiched between Combs and Combs' family.
Yes. Now, to be fair, there's another seat in like directly behind Combs. That's not a pew. That's not at the table. Two U.S. Marshals sit there.
Okay.
But they're just like watching Combs, right? So like she's like coughing on top of the U.S. Marshal, and it's just like going straight to Combs, and then behind her Combs family, and like mid testimony she'll be hacking up a storm.
Okay,
the Combs family. I mean, at this point, some of the press pews were confused at how animated it was. Every time the sketch artist coughs, Combs family row, it's like a roller coaster in unison. They back all the way up like they're accelerating on a Disney roller coaster ride.
Can you tell them who's on there?
Yes, so you've got Janice Combs, you've got Justin Combs. Now, it depends on the day. Sometimes it's just Justin. Other times it's Justin and Christian. And then other times it's Justin, Christian, and Quincy. The daughters have not shown up since the beginning of the trial. And then you've got Dana Tran, who is the mother of the youngest Combs child, Baby Love, who is, I believe, only like 2 years old. So they're all sitting there, and they're just like leaning back in unison like a roller coaster ride, trying to get away from like the sprays of the cough. It's just so interesting to the point where even Justin is giggling at his grandma because of the way that they're trying to move away from these coughs.
That's so funny.
They all start masking up too because it's that bad. Even a few of the older jurors have started wearing masks after this. Court has to break for one moment because a juror is coughing so much they have to bring her water and cough drops. And so I'm telling you, everybody is getting sick. The entire defense team is coughing.
I feel like maybe that would
nightmare tissue rotation. And we have never seen Sean Combs this sick. He's so congested all week. He's just aggressively rubbing his eyes in his scalp. He's like rubbing his eyes like he's trying to take out his retinas. He's itching his entire scalp. I think it's trying to soothe maybe sinus pressure. And he likes to pop cough drops into his mouth, but he chews them. I just know that this man bites his ice cream. That's all I have to say. And it's so interesting that there's this much going on during the testimony days. Mark Agnifilo has also gotten a new haircut, and I say this with so much respect because I was writing this down in my notes, and so were the researchers independently of me. Because, again, I'm very terrified. Mark seems very intense, but he also seems like the type that would let his wife cut his hair. He walks in, new haircut, and my first thought was, I feel like Karen cut his hair. That was the feeling. And then later, a few days later, one of my researchers is outside. Mark walks into the courtroom. He's interacting with some of the press members a little bit, and he just shouts at someone, complimenting his haircut, "My wife cut it." So my suspicions were correct. His whole energy is like
That's so
the
funny,
kid
actually.
that gets a new haircut, comes into school, and wants everyone to compliment his new haircut. He's like bouncing around, and I'm like, what is happening? How were they able to compartmentalize all of these things that are happening in the courtroom? He's
Because they do
also
this all the
still
time, that's why.
filibustering. So last we heard was that Combs got yelled at by the judge for nodding at
Like
the
when you
judge.
do this every
That
day, you
lasted a
get
day.
desensitized
He's
to stuff
back
that
to
normal
nodding again.
people would be
But
like,
Mark
what the fuck?
Agnifilo, Brian Steele, they're standing behind their client. And Mark is saying, you know, one of the things I wanted to say, he's saying this to the judge, I'm a reasonable man, and everyone can, and an approachable one. So if someone, my colleagues from the government, sees something, he's basically saying, I don't know why the government is tattletaling to the judge. They should tell me first. I would encourage them to come to me. I take these things very, very seriously. Now, in terms of what, I didn't see anything. I'm riveted, Your Honor, I'm riveted. Nodding is one of these things where it could be bad intentioned or it could not be bad intentioned. And so I didn't see it. If someone comes to me and says, you know, I might disagree. They might say he's nodding, and I might say, you know, so what do you mean? Is that a problem? Or is it not a problem? And maybe it's not a problem. Maybe it is a problem. But without someone coming to me, you know, kind of remedy this, you know, it's a stitch in time saves 9 type thing.
So when he's like talking in this mannerism, right? It's
Yeah.
like he's trying to be very like smooth and very
Yes.
like kind of clueless, like type of
Yes.
energy. What is the judge's reaction? Is he like
Okay.
like stop playing with me, or is he like all right, I know what you're doing? And
I think it's harder to yell at Agnifilo, the judge, because it's like, I know what you're doing. Like, we all know what you're doing. But I do see that maybe when Brian Steele comes in very hot and slightly aggressive, the judge shuts him down so quick. And is like, no. Same with Alexander Shapiro. They talk a little more aggressively with the judge. The judge is
Thank you
not
for
having
hanging
it.
out.
I see.
Mark Agnifilo is always like, I mean, maybe it's a problem, maybe it's not a problem.
Not a girl, and
He's
almost
like,
30.
Don't blame me. It's very weird.
So it in a way it
Chat.
works.
Oh my
Yes.
god, is my
He
camera
usually can
breaking?
get away with some of these things
Yes.
because the way he talks. Okay.
Yeah.
can
That
find
being
it.
said, I take this matter very seriously. I've spoken to Mr. Combs. He's assured me he didn't mean anything by it.
Oh
He
my
was
God,
just
my
reacting to the
camera.
witness on the stand.
So like, judge told him not to nod. He stopped for a day, and then he started nodding again. And now the judge is having
Thank
another
you, thank
conversation.
you.
No.
Oh,
Mark Agnifilo is just bringing it up. Like, maybe the government can just tell me.
next time
Yeah.
if you see it.
We didn't. They're
I'm
basically
picking
trying to
some
say we were
flowers as
taken
we
aback
speak,
that
chat.
you yelled at Mr. Combs in front of everyone.
Oh, last time.
Yeah.
The time of the judge just kind of told him, I'm gonna throw Cone out of here.
Yeah, and the judge is literally staring at Mark like, I get it, but I literally saw him. He says, I mean, I saw the interaction myself, and the interaction was inappropriate, and no one would have misunderstood my instruction that I had given about 30 minutes earlier. So I regarded that as being outright defiance of the court's order in that moment as to that one incident. AKA, Father Arun
Oh my
is just not
God.
the one. So now
Not
the
as worried
dynamics of the
about.
attorneys are ever changing. It's so interesting to watch. But a
YouTube,
very
but-
interesting attorney does make an appearance last week. Cassie's attorney, Doug Wigder, is present again
It's okay, chat,
for
I
one
fixed
day of
it.
Jane's testimony.
Huh.
Why?
Yeah.
Jane is a pseudonym, but she is one of Sean Combs' latest girlfriends. And like I said, in fact, when Sean Combs was arrested September 16th of 2024, in the hotel
crazy that
room,
he has
Homeland
had
Security found
recent
studio lighting,
girlfriends.
bottles and bottles of baby oil and Astroglide, as well as drugs. Jane was on her way to New York City. Not on the plane, but her plans were to fly to New York City to join him in the hotel where they would presumably have formerly known as a freak-off, now known as a hotel night. When Jane walks into the courtroom, I saw a lot of people in the gallery kind of crinkle their eyebrows because even though she's testifying under a pseudonym, I mean, even in the bathroom before the court day started, people were hypothesizing. We were like, who is it? Is it a celebrity? Is it a celebrity that maybe wasn't so firmly connected in media outlets with Sean Combs, but like maybe they were dating because they're all part of that world? We were thinking all sorts of things. But when she walks in, you could just tell a lot of people don't know who she is. Like almost nobody really knows who she is. She is not a front-facing celebrity. You don't know Jane, don't look for Jane. She walks in kind of playing with her sleeves. She seemed a little nervous, but not nearly as terrified as Mia appeared to be. Just general nerves. She gets on the stand and she starts talking, and immediately the jurors are so deep in their notes. And it's interesting because I think it has to do with the timeline with Combs. This feels like so much fresh information. It feels more pertinent to the case. The jurors are taking in this testimony, and even Combs, he has scooched his chair all the way back so he can get a better look at the witness. He scooched it so far back that the U.S. Marshal sitting behind him looks like he's on a Spirit flight now, and Combs does not care. He even taps Mark Agnifilo on the shoulder and asks him to scooch to the right so that he can scooch to the right and get a better look.
At the jurors?
No, at the witness, because in front of him is a very tall Donaldson. So he's scooching. Maureen Comey is going to be doing the days-long direct examination of Jane. She kind of matches Jane's soft voice just a tad bit. I think she's so good at changing her tone. There is something about Maureen Comey. I think she would be a professional poker player. Like, she could. She will shut people down, like the defense team. She will shut them down so quickly, but she never comes off bothered. She never comes off hostile or angry or aggressive or like shaken up. Whereas I think some of the defense attorneys, they seem like they're upset about something all the time.
And mute. Sorry, my fiance just got a root canal and he just got out, so he was calling me, so I had to take that. He comes first. So sorry. Thank you. Yeah, it's a process. I'm getting there. Getting there. Getting there. So he's getting the works done right now. So anyway, playing again.
Like, Your Honor, blah, 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 and they're upset. Maureen Comey will be arguing, but she doesn't seem upset. She always, the way she looks into court every day, she's just always kind of shrugging and smiling. Like, everything will be falling apart, and the prosecutors are looking at her, and she just gives them, like, a small shrug. She's always like, I don't know what the defense is up to. They're kind of dumb. That's her vibe.
Yeah.
Like, she got this under control.
Literally,
she's like, let them do whatever they want to do. They're dumb. That's her vibe.
So much work right now.
She
I'm
also has a very soft
trying to keep up with getting
genuine.
the website updated, as well as
this throughout Maureen Comey's
updating
direct.
stuff as I have to.
They always say da da da.
Normally.
Right? Da da da.
So everything is kind of just delayed right now. So don't expect anything to be timely.
The correct, right? Like the attorney type of questioning.
No, and she's very good with her pacing, very good with her tone. It's very interesting. Like, when Jane starts crying, she actually seems sympathetic through her tone without saying anything sympathetic. What names did you call him when you were in a relationship with him? This is pretty much how they start. Jane looks up through her lashes and she smiles, and she's got a really soft, dainty voice. Sean, baby, Ernie, Snookums? Like, that's kind of her voice. One of the jurors giggles a little bit at the nicknames. I mean, giggle's a strong word. It's like a soft smile. So who are you? Bert. And who is he? Ernie. That's her voice. So, like from Sesame Street? Yes. Jane tells the jurors when she first met Sean, this is in like late 2020.
Bert
so this
and Ernie.
is very recent. This is 3 years before
Girl.
Cassie files her lawsuit. A lot of the testimonies we've heard are from way back. 2020, we're deep in the brother love era. Sean Combs wanted everyone to call him Brother Love starting in 2017, but he really starts going
So
on talk
weird.
shows around 2020. He releases the Love album in 2023. Jane ends up dating him up until his arrest in 2024. And so, which side note, why is he Brother Love? He says on a talk show, I decided to change my name again. I'm just not who I am before. I'm something different. So my name is Love, aka Brother Love. I will not be answering to Puffy, Diddy, Puff Daddy, or any of my other monikers but Love or Brother Love, okay? Well, the prosecutors
so
are calling
weird.
him Sean Combs, and he's answering, so. Regardless, he is Brother Love. Jane calls him Sean. They meet while Jane is on a girls' trip in Miami in late 2020. Jane gets invited to this girls' trip by a friend of hers, and that friend is dating Combs at the time. So Combs pays for
Weird.
that friend and Jane and a bunch of other girlfriends to go to Miami to have a girls' trip, which it's the way that Sean Combs sits there. Anytime anyone brings up the fact that he paid for something that is not drugs or illegal substances or baby oil, he will look at the jurors like, yeah,
Dude, I
did
can't
that.
with him.
And I'm
I
just
can't with
like,
him.
What? This is so goofy. Like, the feds are trying to seize your assets.
Yeah.
No one cares that you paid for a girl's
Okay,
trip.
what part of
Nevertheless, they are all on
I
this
am
girls'
working
trip. They
on
end up
stuff
going over to Combs' Miami
slowly,
residence in
everything
Star
is
Island one night, and Jane
delayed.
says, we went over
I
there and I
am
just saw
getting
Sean.
through
He's really
things,
charming,
and
really
I'm
nice. I
not
was
adding
already
anything
drawn
more
to him,
to
like,
that.
pretty instantly.
Hence why
He
next
was
month is a
hospitable,
catch-up
really
month.
sweet, really friendly.
What
We had
part
a
of
nice
that
night together.
isn't
She talks a bit
clicking for
slower,
you?
And she goes off to use the restroom at one point, bumps
Also,
into him, and the two of them
No
exchange
offense,
phone
you guys, but I
numbers.
really hate when
That's
you
when they
guys
give
try
each
to
other
like
nicknames,
check on my
Ernie and
well-being.
Bert, to save
We're
each other in
not
the
that
contact.
close.
Now,
We're
Combs is
not
glancing
that
at the jury
close.
again with the energy of like, do you hear
And
this?
if I
Are
was
you
not
writing
doing
notes?
good or
Because
whatever,
I guess
you're
it's
not the
best
person
look
I'm
for Jane
talking
be
to
texting her
about it.
girlfriend's romantic interest
So-
whilst on a
Stop.
girls trip with the girlfriend that's dating Combs.
Boundaries. I'm already
Wow.
explaining to
Yeah,
you
sir,
what the
being
process
charged with
is
trafficking,
and what's
like, I don't
happening.
think the jurors are like,
So
oh my gosh,
take
the
that
code has been broken.
as I've said
Like,
it.
The law could potentially be broken. The
Like,
beginning of the testimony, aside from a few glances to Connie
I'm
and perhaps the
already
jury,
a fairly
Combs is
open
very
book,
still.
so if
He
we could
looks sometimes
just
like he's
not
buffering.
do that, that'd be
When Jane
fantastic.
explains, while they're still on this girls' trip, Combs starts texting her while they're together, saying
something on
things
my
like,
screen.
I'd like to take you out. Jane says, I was just saying to him that I just felt it was a little complicated in the moment, but like, we'll be in touch.
Thank you.
So you were texting during the movie? So all of them had seen a movie in his theater? Yes. And was the girlfriend of yours who was seeing Sean in the relationship with him there as well? Yes. So after the trip, the two of them keep in contact over text. Jane says Combs is pursuing her, asking her to come out to Miami, just her, but she's feeling uncomfortable about it because of her friend still has feelings for Sean. And then it all changes when, quote, my girlfriend ended up getting engaged and she moved overseas and became a fiance. And so I felt that she was okay and that I could potentially
She
entertain
went
this
overseas and
whole Sean
became
thing.
a fiance?
Their first
What?
date is when she goes back to Miami
What kind
in
of a
January of
sentence?
2021. He meets her at her hotel room, and she says, I remember when I first saw Sean, he walks in the door of the hotel room, and he was just like larger than life.
do that.
He had a very big personality, super charming, very, very passionate, even just in how he speaks and just overall, really charming. And he just immediately immersed in conversation with me. Their first date in that hotel room lasts 5 days. 5 days
What?
long.
They were in the hotel room. For
He
5
kidnapped
days.
her?
Yes. Which feels kind
the
of like
fuck?
love bombing, but also, how do you have so much time? So during the first date that lasts a full
How
business
does he
week,
have that much
they talk
time?
about how Jane previously dated someone that Sean
That is
Combs
so
was
weird.
very close to, and that he said that's not a problem. Then they talk about the fact that Jane has a child. She's a mother to a child, one child, and her child's father and Combs are not friendly with each other. which made things more complicated. But Sean is like, no, don't even worry about it. And then Jane is like, okay, well, what about my girlfriend that you were dating?
Too tired.
And he's like, we weren't even really dating. Like, we were more so like friends. So he's like, don't worry about anything. And they just have a wonderful time. Jane says, we made lots of love. I remember it was amazing. And I remember it was like morning time. And then we decided to go for a walk on the beach. Whenever Jane talks about her past with Combs, it is so fascinating because she appears to be incredibly love-struck. Even now, she says after the first date, she's head over heels for him. And in the beginning, you can kind of feel that most of the people in the courtroom don't really know what to make of it. Because, I mean, she's testifying against him. He's done allegedly very horrible stuff, but she's also saying things like, it was beautiful, we made lots of love, and she seems kind of shy about it, as if she seems still in love. And the next month, they end up going to Turks and Caicos as well as the Bahamas. So it's just back to back.
Where even
He's,
is
like,
Turks and
wooing her.
Caicos? I always hear
What do you
people going
remember
there,
from the
but
time
like,
you spent in Turks in February of 2021?
where?
I just remember so many lovely things. It was just really us, and so we just had a lot of connection and a lot of
fuck
time
was that?
together.
Oh my God.
As you would assume, just really passionate about one another, lots of
you see that?
attraction. It was very lust-filled. So this is the first trip that she takes ecstasy with
okay,
Combs.
it's in the Caribbean, that
Now,
makes
side
sense.
note, they are there for like a week, more or less, and they do ecstasy 10 times. She says,
Right,
I
like
remember we were
5
inside the
days is
pool and we were
crazy.
drinking
I'm
and
still
just
stuck
having a
on
good
that.
time. He opens his hand with a pill and he's like, here, take this. It'll just be more fun. Something like that.
Like,
and
that's a
so I end
lot.
up taking the whole thing. Afterwards, she starts feeling like it's hitting too hard. I was walking down the beach with him, and then it just hit me, and I just remember I fell to the ground, and I started grabbing the sand and throwing the sand, and
Oh my God,
body was
chat,
just,
it's like that
almost
movie we watched.
convulsing, and I was like, I think I was screaming a little bit, and she's kind of doing like a shy smile as she's saying it, like she's embarrassed. Combs' chief of staff, KK,
Oh my
tries
God,
to
this
help
is
Jane,
exactly
and
like
she
that
does end up feeling better after a shower, and it
movie
seems like
we
after that,
watched
Combs
together.
starts decreasing the amount of ecstasy that he's giving her, but not
Wait, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Chief of staff,
Christina Coram.
yes, was right there.
Yes.
She saw it. She helped her to take a shower.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a lot.
And now,
Wow.
do they stop giving her drugs? Or are they like, you really shouldn't do any drugs? No, she says that Combs just starts decreasing the amount of
blink?
ecstasy he starts giving her. She starts taking
I think is what
smaller
it was
doses,
called.
but her
The one
highs
on
would
the
still
island.
last 12 hours. Now, a lot of the jurors, they honestly start looking a little bored, but they start perking up more after this story of like the convulsing on the sand, because now they're like, oh, this is getting weird. Meanwhile, Jane
Yeah.
looks really shy describing all these incidents, and Combs is just very intensely pinching the chin hairs with his right hand, staring at Jane.
Wait.
It's like a very, very scary Santa Claus. Now, side note, the Combs sons are
What's
in and out of the
that?
courtroom throughout the week that Jane is testifying. Like I said, one day it's just Justin. The next day it's all three of them. Sometimes just Justin and Christian. Which, side note, they don't appear to
Dude.
be having the worst time with Jane's testimony, or in fact the entirety of the trial. They are constantly passing
many
notes
crumbs.
to each other, smiling. It is a running comment at Rotten Mango
No.
that we are more stressed about this trial than some of the Combs sons.
It's called Don't
or some of
Blink.
the friends and family in the pews. If it were any other case, that would be an insane and perhaps unacceptable thing to say, but genuinely their Instagram stories, like their
No, it
thirst
was like
traps before
Epstein
court
Island.
vibes,
Is what
I just don't even know how that they can
We
do
were
that.
thinking.
I don't understand it. The way that they're mostly in their own little passing notes high school bubble in the pews. I am convinced that everyone in the press pews, everyone in the public pews, is more
Brandon.
exhausted from this trial than the sons. So at one
True.
point during Jane's testimony, a court officer, so not
Even
Officer
mentioning
Riz,
that
right,
cooking in the
they
microwave
walk
is a banned
over
topic
to motion
is
for Combs' bestie to wake up because he's asleep.
on the
Another
edge
day,
of
Quincy
mentioning it
comes
too
in.
much.
He spends a good chunk of the day just twirling a red pen in his hand, and at some points he will slip it inside his long sleeve and itch his arm with it.
The fuck?
This is a paid advertisement. You guys have heard my take on the trial. Now, let's hear from a legal expert. Dan Morgan is a partner at Morgan & Morgan, and he's got some fascinating
Girl.
insights. He says, quote, one of the biggest surprises is how cautiously his legal team is playing it. Because a lot of people have described the case as, quote, a minefield for due process violations, and yet, according to Dan, quote, so far, we haven't seen the kind of sustained
Motherfucker.
objections, motions for mistrials, or voir dire challenges that typically preserve those rights. Dan's legal recommendation is is, in a case this explosive, you fight every inch of procedural ground, because if you don't, you're handing the appellate court a cold record and hoping for mercy. That is the kind of seasoned perspective you'd expect to find at Morgan & Morgan. With over 100,000 lawyers and more than 35 years of experience, they've recovered more than $25 billion for over 500,000 people. And not big fancy companies or people with tons of connections. Morgan & Morgan fights for the everyday person, similar to you and me. With Morgan & Morgan, it's easy to get started, and their fee is free unless they win. Just click the link in the description below or visit forthepeople.com/rotten. That's forthepeople.com/rotten, or click the link in the description below.
Dude, okay, can we talk about Stephen King for a second? What the fuck is he thinking?
During the vacation, Jane opens up.
What is he doing?
She's working as a content creator, influencer.
Like, hello? No, I've made sure I have the correct amount of
He ends
toes.
up giving her $10,000 in cash at the end of the trip. After the end of that trip, how did you feel about Sean?
I double checked.
I was even deeper in my feelings for Sean. I want to say we even started using the L word. And I was really deep in it.
Dude,
I really
he
felt
said
I
that the
had
Epstein Island thing
This is,
isn't
February
real.
20...
This is, yes, February
He thinks there's
2021.
Yeah,
Right, so they
drop
met
on my
in
fork.
January. This is February, right?
So they actually met in 2020,
yeah,
which
yeah.
she went to Miami for the first time in January of 2021. They went on
thinks
Turks and
that
Caicos
it's
February of 2021.
A hoax.
Got it.
So this is all happening like years before the lawsuit.
why
And
would
she
you
just
think
sounds so
that?
in love with this man. Even the way she says, we started using the L word instead
Like-
of saying, like, we started saying we love each other.
Especially
It
'cause,
just
like,
feels like a girl that's head
I don't
over
know why
heels.
a lot of people are
Meanwhile,
jumping to
Combs
the
is not even
conclusion of
focusing. The sketch artist behind
means
him
he's
will cough,
obviously was
and
there
he quite
too. Like, I
literally
don't
turns
think
around
that's
back and looks at her like, excuse
what
you.
that means.
In
I think
2021,
that he
Jane moves to LA to be closer
is
to
just
Combs on
being
the
a
West Coast.
dumbass.
Combs gives her $6,000
I don't think he's
for a
hiding
moving
something,
truck.
'cause, like-
she says, I just remember he was so
And people
sweet.
keep bringing
He
up
would give me money
the
here and there.
last
So
chapter
for
of
the beginning
it,
Jane's
but like,
testimony,
have you
Combs
like?
starts slowly looking.
That's
less
one
bothered,
of like
but that's about
10
to change
different
very soon.
books he's
Jane
written
and Combs
with
have
that
freak-offs,
theme.
what they call
That's
them
like a
either
common
debauchery
theme in
or
his
hotel
books.
nights. Jane
And
says,
it's
"I
clear
learned
he's
so many
writing from the
things. I learned
perspective
how he
of a
liked
victim, so like I don't
I learned how he
think
preferred me
that's
to dress, and I just learned the
what's
things
happening.
that he liked, actually. He preferred me to dress
Like-
in provocative lingerie and really high, like,
But like
stripper
I don't know
heels. She would have
why.
to be
Like
in
I don't
lingerie
think
and stripper shoes for
I don't
12 to
think that's
24
what
hours
is
at a
happening.
time
I don't think he's
whilst
like trying to
high on
cover it
drugs,
up.
whilst
I think
having
he's just
intimate
like
relations with Combs.
being
He would
stupid,
have
but like
her rub
why the
baby
fuck
oil
would he
all
say
over
that?
herself. And what did Sean tell you to
Like,
do with it? To just have it all over my body and his
Bro.
body. The interesting thing is, Combs is looking at Marine Comey with this look of like, how dare you ask such personal questions? It's very uncouth of you. Sometimes the way he
Like-
looks at her, you would think that she's asking these questions in church.
Right? Like
In the beginning, Jane says that she
I-
loved all of her intimate moments with Combs. It was just her and Combs. We would
like
have the red
because
lights
it's
on. I
clear
love
by
them. I
his
really love
phrasing
my
that he
partner,
thinks
and I
it's
was
like
just
very ridiculous to
making
even
love
think
with
that
my
it's real,
partner.
which
Like,
is
the whole
why I'm
time,
like,
and lots of affection and kisses.
why
and
does he think
love
that?
making, and it was
Does
really
he think that they like
wonderful.
wouldn't?
I had a really nice. I
keep
felt
a
like Sean
physical
was really
list of it?
passionate, and he brought out a lot of passion out of me.
Like
And the way
that's
he would
really
compliment
common
me
to
and be
keep a
so
physical
into me
list
and
of
just
like
really,
like a
enjoy
ledger
one
of stuff like
another.
that.
Like it just made me feel really good inside.
Like
So
that's
kind
what
of the tone
I'm
that she
curious
uses.
about.
But a few months after
Like,
the
it's
Turks
weird.
vacation, so
It's
this
interesting.
is like mid-2021,
Like-
Jane says, she takes a deep breath and she says, I
It's
remember that
stupid.
just when we would watch, we started having a lot more of fantasy conversation, and she starts sobbing.
Oh.
Like she
Yeah,
hasn't
something
even
like
talked
that, but
about
it's just
what
like,
the conversation is, but
obviously,
clearly it's getting her so
It's,
emotional.
like,
Do you
what,
need
why
to
would you
take a
think
break,
that?
Jane? No.
Or like, even if there's not a
initiated the
list that
fantasy
they
conversation
that
you're
kept
describing.
themselves, there would be a
Sure.
list in
And can you
general,
explain to us
even if
how you
it's
initiated
vocal.
that conversation?
Like,
Just we would search.
It doesn't have to
specific
be like a
things on
physical
websites,
list
and just in the middle
for
of
it to
it
be a
being
list
high,
that exists.
He just
Like,
really wanted me to
that doesn't make
fantasize or
sense.
kind of talk about other men and this type of role play about
Like,
other men.
what?
Jane starts dabbing her eyes with the tissue. She's like full on crying. And you said that he would want you to talk about other men. What did he tell you that he wanted you to say about these other
But
men?
anyway, I think it's also going.
more
It
like a
goes to show.
question,
Same
like,
with
do you
like
what
Neil
you see there?
deGrasse
Do you
Tyson,
like
where
that?
it's
Do you
like
want that? Can you
he can be
imagine
really
that?
smart in one area
Pretend that that's
and an
here, and
absolute
I'm that
fucking moron
person.
in another.
She says the very first night he brings this up with her, they've already been high on a mix of and ecstasy. They've been awake for 24 hours. And by this point, the past 12 hours, they've been watching videos and having intimate relations. End quote. He started saying that I can make this fantasy a reality. If you'd like to have that happen, I can make that happen.
Thank you, Hammer.
Because it just seemed like he wanted
But, right,
that, and it
like-
was turning him on, and I was really into my partner, and I said, okay.
doesn't-
Jane still is
doesn't
thinking
make
maybe
sense.
it's just a fantasy. I mean, she's just going along with it. She excuses herself to the bathroom, and by the time she comes out, Combs is in a robe.
I'm not turning the
very
video down
serious,
because
like,
everyone
very
always
intently
bothers me
looking at his
when
phone.
it's too
He's
quiet,
like, we can
so-
make that happen tonight. Jane is like, tonight? Like, okay.
No.
I was taken aback, a
I
bit
can't
surprised,
win.
but like, okay, because my partner was excited, and it was already happening, and this was just something that we were gonna do. Instantly, Combs is calling his assistants. They're starting to get a hotel ready in Miami.
True, he could believe in the
for
Tooth
that.
Fairy and Santa.
At this point,
He's like, I'm not a
Mark
Santa
Agnifilo
denier.
is
Why are you
also
guys
leaning
yelling at me?
so far to the left to watch Comey during her direct that he looks like,
Like, bro.
and I don't mean this to be comical in any sort of the word, because I tried to find a different comparable like meme or something that could depict exactly what we're seeing. But you know that damn meme where the two guys are like leaning to the side and it says like damn?
Girl.
Like he's leaned
yeah.
that far to the side, and sometimes Sean Combs will lean with him, so it literally looks like that damn meme.
Why
It
do
does.
we just like they're
They're on the same line as Marine Comey. Marine Comey is literally to their right, and they just like want to stare at her. I also think that they want to stare at the jurors behind her. He's captivated. The jurors are also taking notes, and she says Combs tells her everything's gonna be fine. Once they get to the hotel, he just told me that there's somebody coming and just to relax and that this would be something fun. And he knows the guy, and he's a really nice guy, and I
I
was
need a
just
new
super
iPad
nervous and just
so
listening to
fucking
him.
bad it can
The guy ends up
not
showing up.
stop
Combs and the
glitching.
guy are in the living room of this hotel suite. Jane is anxious. She's waiting in the bedroom. She says, I remember I was in the room by myself for a little bit, and then he walks out and greets the guy, and I can hear them talking, and he called me outside. I was wearing lingerie underneath a robe. I was wearing the big stripper heels. I was high. She walks outside,
Girl.
sees the entertainer. She doesn't really know what to do, so she just kind of sits awkwardly on the couch. Presumably, she looks very tense. She said her arms were crossed, her legs were crossed, and Combs is just telling her to relax. Sean was like, just stand up. And so I stood up, and I started to just kind of dance, just to kind of get my nerves away. And in the courtroom, she's very emotional as she's talking about this. Her voice is getting soft, and she's describing how Don is trying to make her comfortable. Don is the entertainer. And what was Sean doing while you and Don started touching each other? He was watching and touching himself. Then they escalate to oral activities, which ends up taking a really long time.
It's
About how
also
long did that
so
last?
weird to me how the
Quite a while.
men
And what
who
was Sean doing in
are
the meantime? Watching,
being
talking.
hired
I remember he was like, in a
as
positive mood,
prostitutes
just, like,
in this
being very
situation,
encouraging
how
and
is
sweet.
that not the
Jane
sex
had a similar
trafficking?
reaction to
I'm
Cassie to all
so
of this, which is, let's just
confused.
speed things up. Let's just get this over with because we're already here. Let's just get it over with. But Combs gets upset with her.
Like, it's not
and
like
she
prostitution's
asks for
fucking
protection.
legal.
Jane's tearing up.
I am
Janice
so
Combs,
confused.
Combs' mom, just like walking in a fringe jacket, double layered
Like,
fringe jacket. It
not that I
feels
would
like a
technically
very
agree
festive
with that,
jacket. She's
especially
wearing
if it is
sunglasses,
consensual on their
and,
half.
This courtroom is such a
But,
weird
like,
mix of energies all the time.
Wouldn't
It's so
that
hard to
technically still be
digest.
sex trafficking?
And
Because
Jane's just up there
prostitution's
crying.
not
Jane
a fucking
says
legal
after she had intimate relations with Don, quote, we were
thing.
in a really good mood and we
with
just
Dawn.
I
Yes,
guess
the entertainer.
men can
Oh.
prostitute, and
So
that's
she's,
chill
like,
though.
having intimate
Is that the
reactions.
loophole? You just gotta
And
be
then,
a gay
We
prostitute.
were in a really good mood and we just started making love. Now she's
Like-
making love with Sean.
Oh.
I don't
And
understand.
he's really, really happy. She says the first night she felt really exhilarated. I thought that I had did something.
Thank
done
you.
something that I'd never
I've done a
before. I
lot
felt
of
excited.
practice
I was happy. It was taboo. It was
drawing
fun.
my
I had a
own
good time
feet.
with my
That
partner.
helps
But ultimately,
a lot.
she's thinking this is just a one-night thing where they do something absolutely crazy and taboo. It's fun. Like maybe it's a 2 times a year for his
Thank you,
birthday and
Freddie.
Christmas type of thing. She did not
It doesn't
think
make
that they
sense
would
though,
really
right?
do it at a high frequency.
Also, thank you. I'm
However,
glad you like
it
the
starts
clown
dawning on her.
videos.
She said after
We'll
that
probably
night,
do
I
another
truly
one.
felt that night had just opened like a Pandora's box in our
Soon.
relationship. It
Probably next week,
completely set the
legal.
tone for our
Another
relationship moving
clown
forward.
video.
What do you mean by opening a Pandora's box? I meant that it was just a door that like I was unable to shut for the remainder of the relationship. Because after that first time, which she really wasn't even prepared for, just spawned out of nowhere, anytime she would see Combs, it's like a hotel night was already in the works. And if she just wants to have intimate time with just her and Sean Combs, it just doesn't happen. On one occasion,
like
she calls Combs
it's like
inviting her to New
one
York
for
City,
one,
and she tells him she doesn't want
the
to
same
go because
story.
she feels like he's gonna set her up with somebody. It's gonna be another hotel night, and she would just rather not do that. And he's telling her, no, it's gonna be romantic. It's gonna be you
I
and me.
so don't understand how
intimate time. So Jane agrees. She flies to New York. She says,
between
I'm really excited.
her,
I trusted those words,
actually, like,
and I went to New York. And on my flight,
it's like
is when he
3
says,
people,
do you want
really.
entertainment tonight? And I just felt really disappointed. I felt like the high of seeing my lover was just like shot down. I just felt this like heaviness, like damn. And she starts sobbing. I'm sorry. I felt this weight over me. Like I felt like a balloon popped. She's already on the plane. She lands in New York. He has gifts waiting for her, and he's going to take her to dinner. And at this point, it's already 3 a.m. It doesn't feel romantic. She's waiting for him in the car right outside the hotel. He hasn't been talking about the hotel night, so she's thinking, okay, maybe he forgot. He's talking to his entourage outside the hotel. Like, she's in the car. He's, like, at the entrance of the hotel talking to his entourage, maybe security staff, maybe assistants, I don't know, for 40 minutes. And she ends up taking a picture from inside the car while she's waiting for him. And she said it was just kind of funny how obvious the red lights were. Because I guess she could see their hotel room and the red lights were on.
No. So he took a photo
She
of...
did.
She took a photo of
Dude, why was there a
Sean,
bunch of
but
hair in my
the
mouth?
photo, you see the red light, and she didn't realize that.
She did. That's why she took the photo.
Ooh, nice. That'll be fun.
Yeah, she realizes that the assistants are setting up
What are you gonna do in
for a hotel
Amsterdam?
night. They go to the lounge, they grab food, and she just says they start bickering. I was bickering about just how I was done with this and I didn't want to do this and like why every time I see you like this is happening and something along those lines. And I just remember he was like super defensive and saying, we don't have to do any of this stuff. I don't need to do any of this and we don't have to do this at all, and just very defensive. She tells Combs that she doesn't want any more hotel nights, which he agrees. He's like, yeah, okay, fine, you don't have to. But, quote, I was just listening, but in my heart, I just knew that he didn't mean that.
Obviously.
What makes you say that? Because it still happened that night? So on the way back to the hotel room, he gives her an ecstasy pill. They get to the hotel, and there's a man, and no matter what Jane tries, she just cannot get into it. So she tells Combs on the side, and she's like, there's no chemistry. It's not going to work. He just appears agitated, according to Jane, and it's like he begrudgingly accepts it. End quote. Then at that point, it's just me and Sean, and we're just together, and he's kind of like, I can't wait to see what you have for me next. Or what would make this better? Or what would we do? What surprises do you have for me? And in
Sean
that,
is saying that to her.
after they kick that guy out. And in that moment, I just wanted to make it up to him, and that he wasn't going to have, like, this night that he envisioned. And so I messaged Cabral. Cabral is a different entertainer that they frequently use. Side note, he's an adult video star, but he's also from Atlanta, so they're flying him, which is part of the charges, cross state lines. Why did you feel like you needed to make it up to him if just...
So
They're
how
fine
is
to
that
do
not,
right
like,
then and
cut
there,
and dry?
in, like freaking 4 a.m., 5 a.m.
How is that not literally cut and dry?
Why did you feel like you needed to make it up to him if just earlier that night you told him you don't want to do these nights anymore,
so
and Sean said you don't
confused.
have to? Jane pauses for a really long time, and it just feels like she did not prepare for this question. And she says, that's a really hard question to answer. I just knew that's what would make my partner the happiest, and I just wanted to give him what he wanted, and I wanted to make him happy, and I wanted to just have a good, upbeat night with him. But even more interesting is that a few weeks prior to Jane testifying, a different man was on the stand. And he was just describing how hotels actually know a lot more about us than we
why
think.
the fuck are you
So
still
if
here,
stay
you
in
weird
especially a more
degenerate?
upscale hotel like the lmao
Go
in
pray
Beverly
to
Hills. They
your
want to know
fuck
what kind of
ass
hotel guest you are, so that they can anticipate your
pedophile
needs. They can
prophet or
over-deliver,
whatever.
And you will continue to stay with them. You will stay loyal to them.
Okay.
Some high-end hotels, there are reports online that they will actually track guests' movements and behavior patterns through their connection
Anal is much
to the
closer
Wi-Fi.
to God
so when
than you
hotel
will
guests
ever
connect
be.
to the hotel Wi-Fi, they will start tracking which floor you're on, how often you use the hotel lobby,
Okay, Christ
how
is
often you're at the
king.
bar, how often you're at the pool, just to see how you move about. Are you someone that stays in the hotel room more frequently, or do you leave all day long and you just come home to sleep?
What? First of all,
Yeah.
that sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Second of all, what are they doing with my location in this hotel?
Yeah, how
I
are we
don't know. I
telling
guess
her
they're just
that?
trying to anticipate the flow of humans in the
Get him,
hotel.
Munchie. Get him, Munchie.
I don't think they know like what you're doing in your
He's
room
trying
or
to get
where
them.
in the room you
And he's
are,
running.
but it just kind of
And he's
shows
gone.
as you're moving if you're connected to the hotel
Run,
Wi-Fi.
Peter.
Now, there's a lot that hotels know about their guests, and Frederick Zamore is the general manager at the lmao Beverly Hills Hotel. He is subpoenaed by the government to fly to New York City from Los Angeles to testify in the USA v. Sean Combs case.
Oh, true. Did you see that one Niall Reed video recently about the
So a few notes.
Black Widow
he
silk?
Says there is an American Express card on file. They have dates for times when the hotel provided amenities like a bowl of fruit, chocolates, and water. They keep note of that. Another thing is the note reads, please only reserve entry-level rooms for Sean Combs. Which is puzzling because this guy's a billionaire. Why would you only reserve entry? I would say reserve only top-of-the-line, most expensive suites because he can afford it.
Yeah.
The next part of his guest profile, however, reads, always spills candle wax on everything and uses excessive amounts of oil. Place room out of order upon departure for deep cleaning. Please authorize an extra $1,000 when guest stays with us to cover any room damages.
Oh.
With a detailed incident report from January 2010 when Sean Combs was staying in room 804. Housekeeping had gone into the room and noticed large deposits of candle wax on the carpets in the living room area and on the nightstands. Then another note, please monitor outside his room, down the hall to spray air freshener. Likes the room hot, sets thermostat to 75 degrees. Frederick Zamore is in the courtroom for like a solid 20 minutes. There's no cross-examination. And this was a while back, but everyone remembers the name, the La Hermitage Hotel, because everyone was having a hard time saying the name of the hotel. Jane is now on the stand weeks later, and she states that she has been in the La Hermitage Hotel.
You should go watch the Niall Reed video, okay?
Combs wanted to get sober,
it's a short.
and he just wanted to do this one big
Probably
party, like a big binge right before, which I don't know about the logic on that, but nevertheless. Jane says the night of the sobriety party, she doesn't use drugs, but she believes that Sean Combs was doing ecstasy and cocaine, and this sobriety party turns into a hotel night. I just remember that it was like this typical routine, except I didn't take anything, and I was in an outfit, and I was with Sean, and the room was decorated, and I was just getting ready, and I remember it was like the first guy, then a second guy, and then after the second guy, I just went into the bathroom, and I wasn't feeling well, so she rushes into the hotel bathroom and throws up. Sean walks in, and the whole thing the defense is trying to say is this is not sex trafficking, because everybody here is a consenting adult in an adult relationship. They're all girlfriends basically, and I'm not saying that this action alone is against the law, but let's say a woman's boyfriend walks in on her in the bathroom throwing up. Picture the normal response. This is Sean Combs' response. Jane says, I told him that I had just thrown up, and he was like, that's good then, you'll feel better now that you've thrown up, so let's go. Like, let's go because the third guy is here.
The third guy is here.
What do you mean you'll feel better now that you've thrown up?
Already.
No. So she had one entertainer, they had intimate relations in front of Sean Combs, and then after he left, a second entertainer came, and now
did I get all of the
third
skin
guy
part?
back to back,
I think
and
I
she's
did.
clearly feeling unwell.
Holy shit.
Jane starts getting more emotional, like she can barely even finish sharing this story. I hated it so much. I was just disgusted.
Progress.
A few of the jurors, they glance at Combs. I was just so repulsed.
Okay.
I was just so mad at myself for doing that. I just deeply regretted that. She says that she felt absolutely terrible after this party, and as Jane is still crying, Comey brings up a thread of text messages. Now, keep in mind, one big part of direct examination is to bring in evidence that the defense is
I don't get how it's not like
remember,
just
we were so
textbook
upset
sex
about the whole
trafficking.
Intercontinental Hotel
Like it's not even that
lawsuit
complicated of
came
a
up
case.
at
I don't
the Cross
understand.
For Cassie.
Yep.
It's just annoying because you want to
Like,
hear
they
it from
fucked
Cassie
up.
herself. And I do think there is this feeling of if something comes up in the cross-examination, it feels like you're caught in a lie.
Yeah.
Even if it's not that serious.
Yeah, like you're trying to hide it or something.
Yeah, like if it's not a lie, then why are you hiding it? It just, the line of questioning is aggressive, it's antagonistic, so it's good to bring it up during direct, which is exactly what Comey does, because after the sobriety party, there is a text from Jane to Combs that reads, baby, good morning, I love you, hope you're having a great day so far, do you think you can put something in my account, please? There's a few things I needed and wanted, thank you, baby. A few of the jurors have their brows furrowed. I mean, they're staring at this message because it seems...
Oh yeah, how dare she
seems like
ask
they're
for
taken aback
fucking
by this type of
like
message
a
after
few
that kind of
bucks
testimony.
after
And Comey
having to
asks,
go
and
through
what did
that.
Sean respond?
Dude,
No.
I hate this jury so
Really?
much.
She later texts, can you make sure that you can put something in my account, please? You have me feeling a little crazy and feeling
This
used,
jury
like
is
I got
so
tricked into a
annoying.
party and you're not communicating. The government is arguing that Combs engaged in sex trafficking by using force, fraud, and coercion, coercion. The defense is arguing that Combs and all the women they were engaged in these activities with, and they were all consenting adults, and that some of these women, they were getting something out of these activities. Now, it's up to the jurors to decide, but this is what Jane says about her experience about these hotel nights. It's like a Pandora's box. She thought it was one time, and now it's 90% of the time. She said that it took up her entire life, and there's so many similarities to Cassie's testimony. She said that she would have to maintain proper childcare. She always looked put together and ready for whenever Combs would call her.
It's such similar testimony.
She had to make sure her nails were done, her hair was done, her tan, her glam. And she says, I just liked being beautiful for Sean, and I know he liked me looking beautiful for him. He liked having my hair straight, or when it was time for us to be together intimately, he liked my hair in a ponytail. He wanted me to have light-colored nails, mostly like a creamy white. And later in our relationship,
absolutely
he was
demolished white nail polish.
Where did Sean tell you he wanted you to get piercings? My nipples. Combs starts twirling his pen against his lip like a joint, which, side note about the piercing, he tells her this is what he wants from his girl and this is what turns him on. Then he has his chief of staff, KK, apparently help set up the appointment for her to get the piercing done. And she describes getting it done felt like a rodent had bit her really hard there. And she kept those in for about a year until they, quote, they snagged on some of the outfits and they bled and got infected. So she naturally takes them out. But Sean Combs is upset about this. He was okay with it at first, but then I could tell he was getting impatient with how long it was taking me to put them back in. So with this conversation, again, Combs is just sitting there stroking his chin hairs. At this point, it looks like he's watching the 5 o'clock news about inflation. Like, this has nothing to do with him. He's got such a nonchalant demeanor, and it's so interesting because even the jurors seem like they're getting less and less engaged with the testimony. It seems like they're almost to the point where they are desensitized to the conversation of freak-offs and hotel nights.
And this is day 1, day 2 of the direct?
This is around day 1 and day 2.
Okay, and you can tell the jurors are getting less and less.
Yeah, they will perk up at certain points, like when certain names come up, like the L'Hermitage Hotel, because I think it's like an Easter egg feeling is how my researcher describes it. Because we're looking for ways to describe, it's like, oh, I've heard that before. Yeah. Oh, maybe we're about to connect some dots. But they just look a little less engaged. There's not...
Dude, fuck this jury so much.
Smirking as there was with Mia's testimony. But they just look, some of them look like they're not resonating.
No, I haven't, but that's so funny.
Meanwhile, Jane is telling this slightly unengaged jury. He would say things like, where are my piercings? Where are my piercings? This is the last time I see you when you don't have any piercings on. She says she didn't even really have much time to spend with her friends anymore. Just looking nice started taking up most of the time in her life, like every day. But it's all because, quote, I would say when I was with Sean, I was really consumed by him. I was really consumed by Sean. Meanwhile, Combs is glancing back at the clock, which is behind the press pews at the end of the courtroom. Like, where do you have to be right now, sir? I don't understand. Jane says the hotel rooms were almost always decorated and fixed before they arrived, with bed sheets covering everything, all the furniture, blankets, towels, and in a hotel night,
the hotels are like,
they would
please
go
don't
through like 2 dozen or more bottles of baby oil. Diddy goes, yeah, 2 dozen.
24
I don't, why so much?
Yes.
Wow.
Diddy goes into his full businessman pose, legs crossed, right arm on the armchair rest, 2 fingers touching and pinching his chin hairs. He's doing this. He makes eye contact with Mark Agnifilo, who's sitting to his right, and then instantly he puts his arm down. I'm not sure if that's a sign from Mark or if he just wants to naturally change his position, but it reminds me of like if you're shaking your leg and your parents snap a look at you and you stop. That was the vibe it was giving. However, there are way bigger things that Combs has to worry about because Jane starts testifying that the entertainers would be instructed by Combs to finish their actions just right outside of her private parts. And that is when Jane and Combs would start making, quote, love. Combs cocks his chin all the way up. Would you clean up the substance in between? No. Combs stares at Comey, cocks his head to the left, and it feels like he's trying to show the jurors that he's not embarrassed. In a single hotel night, sometimes it would happen more than once with one person and then maybe more than once with another person. In total, how long did a typical hotel night last? Like 24 to 30 hours or more. All the while, She's high on ecstasy that Combs provides, and she does state that the longest time was 3.5 days. She stayed awake through a combination of, quote, I would take ecstasy, I would drink caffeine, I would just try to drink water, I would just try to order myself smoothies or protein shakes. She says that she was not allowed to sleep at all during that time. Sometimes she would be told by him to hold the same position for hours, like the same position during intimate activities for hours. She would have to wear professional stripper heels for hours the entire time. She says, I just remember my feet being really sticky and oily, and then I would just try to remain balanced in my steps, but maybe a couple times I've slipped.
No wonder it was being weird.
At this point, interestingly enough, it's like every time Jane responds to a question while she's talking, Combs slightly lifts his chin up and looks down at her. And then when she's done responding, his chin also goes back down. Jane says that she listened to all of Combs' instructions during the hotel nights, quote, on command.
I don't understand why people are so obsessed with
it. From UTIs, yeast infections. She said that she had a UTI almost every week, and it just felt like this burning, constant urination. It was
Bro, can you
the worst.
imagine?
She would get treated with antibiotics. She would be sore everywhere, all the time. But she never really told Combs about it because, quote, I just didn't want to indicate like any negativity.
Cool.
Combs is
Line
looking
art.
straight at Jane and Prosecutor Comey. Jane does not look back
Yeah,
at him.
but it doesn't
But
even
doesn't,
seem like it's the
he's not
money
as
or
calm
the
as
like success
tries
that he
to be
brings, because it
perceived.
seems like people
A
are
few things
obsessed with
stand
him
out. So,
even
for
without
example,
that.
The very first break during Jane's testimony, Combs practically jumps out of his chair, places both of his hands on his chest, and does like this weird back stretch.
And I don't get
And he
it.
does a lot of these like uncomfortable stretches during really weird moments of the trial. And it's usually when it's a very important witness. Like remember Mia, he was doing those weird fist bumps, shoulder stretches, puffing out his chest. And then at other moments, Combs is just staring down Maureen Comey. It is so clear Sean Combs does not like any of the prosecutors. Whenever one of them stutters, whenever one of them gets an objection sustained, he looks at them with such disdain. He looks at them like, are you okay? He will just give them such a specific stare. It's the best way to describe
Hey,
it is
Omar,
like if you hate someone,
you know how
and they
much
get in trouble and you just look
proof
at
that
them
you
like,
have
oh,
that
you're
he
such a mess. Like,
wasn't
that's the vibe.
is the same proof
And
I
it's
have
not
that he
just the
was.
prosecutors he's doing this to. There's one time
Because
when the
it's
jurors
not
are not in the room,
real.
the attorneys are all arguing about
absolute
something, and Mark
fuckwit.
Agnifilo asks the judge, Your Honor, I apologize. Can we have a quick bathroom break? So it's the
Also,
attorneys arguing.
I don't
and
need
it's
to
clear
convince
that Mark Agnifilo is asking
anyone
on
else
behalf
here
of Sean Combs. So the judge
that your
says,
religion
to be
is
honest,
bullshit.
Yes, if someone is
Everyone
not
else already
addressing an
knows
issue
that.
and you would want
Like,
to take a break, you should
unless you've been
do so,
indoctrinated
Mr.
since
And
birth,
he's about
that's
to
like an
address Mr.
instinctual
Combs, like, Mr.
thing
Combs,
that
if
most
you need to
people
go,
know.
Feel free to go.
I hope you're aware of
doesn't
that.
even acknowledge the judge.
You're part
Just
of a
gets
cult.
up mid-sentence that the judge is saying that. Does not respond, does not nod, nothing, and he just starts leaving with the U.S. Marshals. The judge even says, there you go, okay, and moves on.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm
Really?
like...
He's not. What?
And this is so crazy to me because if Combs is convicted, like, is this, he genuinely feels so much
True.
confidence that he's not going to get convicted? Because if he's convicted, Father Arun is the one deciding the sentence.
Wait, that's so interesting because he's always
True, if you get a
super
tax
attentive
break,
to the
then you get to
jurors, right?
pretend
He's
it's not a
always
cult
playing up
anymore.
These
Yes.
kind of gestures versus to the judge, he's not like showing any of that. Like
No.
he's different. You know, even the defense attorneys are always like, Your Honor, Your Honor, Your Honor.
Yeah. I don't think he likes the judge being in charge. I think he's also very butthurt that the judge yelled at him about nodding at the jurors.
I'm sure he
I really
is.
do not think that he can stand another man being in charge of him.
Interesting.
Yeah, because even if the jurors leave,
God,
when
I
he
really
talks
hope
to
the judge gives him the
directly,
longest
he'll try to
sentence he
make
can,
jokes.
but I don't remember.
There's one time where,
if that's happened
Alexandra
or not
Shapiro is
yet.
like, we're going to waive the right to something. Like, they're trying to get their way, and they're like, if anything happens, we'll waive our right
Could
to an
make those
appeal
more
based
neat,
off
but
of
I'm
this.
not
It was on,
going
like,
to.
one of the jurors they were trying to dismiss. And then the judge is just trying to confirm with Mr. Combs, and he starts waving, and he says, we waive it.
Judge is doing that?
No, Combs. So like when he's directly talking to the judge, it seems like he tries a little bit to be charismatic, but otherwise he does not care. There are times when the jurors are dismissed for the day, the attorneys are fighting about stuff. Combs will slouch all the way in his chair and lean his head up against the chair on the back.
So you're saying the moment that the jurors left,
Yeah.
he's like switched.
Listen,
Yeah.
believing in fairies makes sense though.
Huh, fascinating.
Yeah, and I'm like, Father Arun is going to be the one sentencing you if you're
There's
convicted.
as much
so
proof.
I don't
Actually,
know
there's more
what kind of
proof for
energy that
fairies than there
I don't
is
know,
of
it's
God.
Just
So
weird. Now, to be fair, though, I guess Combs is very consistent. He looks at the prosecutors like that. He looks at the judge like that. Sometimes he looks at his own defense team like that. So he just like hates everyone sometimes.
Except the jurors.
Except for the jurors. Now, Jane testifies that it would just be difficult for her to be able to get the entertainers to even wear protection because Combs would guilt trip her. He says, quote, he didn't want to see it, like rubber when he was watching, and she's like hesitating because it seems like she doesn't want to talk about these things. Now, the prosecutors bring into evidence an audio recording of
I
Jane
love when
and Combs
religious
and
people
an
come into like the most
The camera was
degenerate
set up
group
to
of
film the
people, and they're
hotel
like,
night, but Jane and Don, the
"You guys
entertainer, are
must
looking for
pray,
protection in the
convert
room.
to God."
Now, just to clarify,
Like,
the courtroom mainly just hears a lot of static.
So you
but the
just
jurors
walked
get a
into the
transcript
satanic
of the audio
temple
note, which
and
the gallery
started
does
preaching
not.
God to
But
us.
while it's playing, Jane is mainly looking down with no emotion, and Combs
Do you know
is
how
studying
silly
the
you
hell
look?
out of the screen and listening to it in like a little huddle with Tenny and Mark, and their heads are all pressed together at this point. Now, Janice, Combs' mom, is just staring straight ahead, eyes closed.
So funny.
Combs is bestie
So
in the
like-
pew. His head is drooped. His eyes are closed. It's unclear if he's sleeping or depriving himself from the sense of sight so that he can enhance his hearing abilities. Meanwhile, the jurors are frozen. A lot of them are paying attention. They've got their eyebrows raised because in the audio clip, Combs tells Jane that she was, quote, just taking that D.
Combe is telling Jane, just take that D.
No, you were just taking that D. Meaning it's already happened without protection, so why are you complaining now? Combs goes on to say, if you don't touch yourself right now, Jane gets very emotional, and she says she understood it as, my request is just going to get denied, so just move on from this request. Why did you feel the need to get permission from Sean to have the man who was having intimate relations with your body to wear a condom? Her voice starts breaking, and she pauses for a really long
Because
time
it's
before she
sex
says,
trafficking.
I don't know. I'm just still trying to process even that. Jane later says, perhaps this is the reason, quote, I just didn't want to disappoint my lover. And I do kind of love Maureen Comey for this because she asks on multiple occasions why the entertainer's bodily fluids were not cleaned off her body before she and Sean were intimate. And each time this line of questioning appears, Combs tries to make his body
know what would have
bigger.
made this,
He'll stretch his
line of
chin
questioning
up and look
stick a
down
lot
at Jane.
harder?
He'll look straight at Maureen Comey and the jurors.
An
But Jane
expert
continues that Combs
witness,
would like for her
maybe
to
a
just play around with
psychologist
it
or someone
and have it
who
everywhere.
specializes
She
in
says
sex
after that,
trafficking.
she would have
Would
to
have been
shower
a
and
great
get ready for the
expert
next
witness to fucking
entertainer.
have.
Jane starts to cry and get emotional, and it's interesting because some of the jurors, they
Like,
look
bro.
away from Jane when she starts getting too emotional, and it doesn't look like, I don't want to see this anymore. It feels so human. Like, I feel like we should give her some
Like,
privacy.
why?
Because she's so emotional. Like, it feels too intimate to be staring her down.
Yeah.
Combs, on the other hand, he's staring her down. He will crane his neck to watch her cry. She says that if she was getting tired, she would try to give subtle cues that she's tired, saying things like she was hungry, or, quote, I would lay down, or I would give him kind of like little faces. But it didn't matter because he would sense it and say things like, you're not getting tired on me, are you? Let's finish strong. Let's end on a high note. Comey asks Jane, why didn't you just say that you were done and you wanted to stop? And she just
Because
starts
he
sobbing.
beat her ass.
And there are points where she sobs so hard, it's like waves on her body, and she'll try to talk, which she lets out what other people have described as like very animalistic noises, which is kind of a weird way of describing it, but in the sense of like, they're not like normal cries. Like you're trying to hold it in, but you can't even help it. They just blurt out of you. It's almost like an exhale scream. Like she can't even help it. And she says, I just don't know, I don't know. She says that after hotel nights, she feels, I would feel really happy to end my night with Sean, but I would really fight to block out just like how sad I felt after. She also explains afterwards when they get that quality time together, they would spend time like a real relationship, kind of.
Yeah, mobile's
She
always
thought maybe
ass.
they'd go on a date after a hotel night because that's what he would always promise her. But instead of these romantic dates, she said that she would follow Sean Combs back to his residence. Quote, I would make sure he was like showered and clean, And I would cook for him, I would massage him, I would put on his favorite show.
All that, and you have to
then I
cook
would
and
finally
shower
get
him.
to cuddle with him and sleep with him. Side note, this man's favorite show is Dateline, which is a true crime series on NBC, which Jane talks about. And Dateline actually did a
Ironic.
video on Diddy. They did an episode on Diddy, but it has since been taken down off of most platforms. And it's not because Jane is like, yeah, his favorite show is Dateline, so they thought, let's take it down. It's because Combs filed a $100 million defamation lawsuit against NBC and Peacock for a separate documentary that they did on him, Diddy, the Making of a Bad Boy. So that Dateline video is very hard to find.
Wait, he loves to
So
watch
annoying.
Dayline, which
Yes.
like he loves true crime,
Yes.
and they made a video on him after the
Yes.
Cassie lawsuit, and then he filed for.
Yes, they also made a documentary, the Diddy, Making of a Bad Boy.
And he sued them.
Yes, for $100 million. And like, while I do think that defamation lawsuits are legitimate, and it's very serious with the day and age of the internet, people can go online and say all sorts of crazy things about public figures. However, I always find it so fascinating when defendants that are accused of really heinous crimes are suing people for large sums of money for defamation. I just think it's an interesting way that the world
Very
works.
interesting.
It's just weird. It always makes me go, oh, that's weird. Just say. Now, another incident Jane distinctively remembers, this is back in 2021. She says, I remember Sean said that he had someone coming over and he invited this man over, and honestly, I was like immediately repulsed by him. Jane is repulsed by this entertainer. Do you remember where you were? I was on the bed, I was in the hotel room. I just remember that he was really sweaty, and I just thought he didn't look nice and that he kind of
Ew.
smelled. And I just remember I was very hesitant with him. I just kind of tried to make it work. I tried to kind of seduce him and like with my body and try to, I don't know, just make some sort of attraction happen, and it just wasn't. Like, I just remember him sweating so much, and I was kind of throwing looks at my partner like I wasn't feeling this. I tried to touch his chest, I tried to bring him closer to me, and I remember Sean saying
Ew.
things like, if I want to taste it or if I want to do something with him, and I was just trying to move
Like,
around
no,
that
thanks,
subject and was
though.
trying to find different ways of, I don't know. She ends up telling Diddy that she's not feeling this, and it's just not something that she can get into. Diddy proceeds to
Get it,
lay
Bobby.
her down and starts having intimate relations with her. All the while, this guy is still around, and he's just hovering on top of her while Combs is having intimate relations with her.
Ew.
Combs keeps telling her to look at this man's private part while he is sweating on her. Eventually, Combs dismisses the guy and brings in a second guy, Paul. And this time, maybe in an attempt to make sure Jane does not say no again, when Paul comes in, Jane is blindfolded. This seems like a detail that the jurors do not overlook. Their brows are furrowed, they're scrunched together, they start taking notes. Combs is doing like these little quick glances at the jurors. He does this when he tries to get their reaction. He's not nodding at them. He's not
Get it,
shaking
Bobby.
his head. He's just kind of like glancing at them to see how they're reacting to these types of news. It's like very quick. Just like with Cassie, a lot of these hotel nights were filmed. Jane says Combs would convince her that it was just for him, it was just for the two of them, to film these
Get it,
hotel
Bobby.
nights so that they can look back on these memories. And there are exhibits shown, which are screenshots of
Good
these
job,
hotel nights. The jurors are shown them, the gallery has not shown them, rightfully so. But I think this is the part where the jurors have pretty interesting reactions. I mean, it's just exhibit after exhibit after exhibit, and I think the gravity starts to hit the jurors. Every single juror appears to be frozen. None of them are taking notes. They're frozen, they're staring.
Clearly
which
it
at this
didn't
point,
really hit
this is
them.
before any of the footage has been showed. By the time that you're hearing this, I mean, it's all over the news. They're playing like an hour worth of video footage from these nights to the jurors. This is like a lot. And some of them have their heads rested in their hands, others have their eyebrows raised, others are just staring with like a scowl, like a very concerned look. There's no audible gasp or reaction, you just see a lot of tension. One juror in particular has their arm propped up on the armrest and their hand is on their forehead, but it's almost like at any moment they're gonna scooch it down and cover their eyes. It feels like every person, prosecutor, defense attorney, they're all just looking at the jurors to gauge their reactions. Meanwhile, Combs is frozen the whole time. His eyes are looking at Tenny's notebook, just staring at her documents. It is likely that he was prepped on what to do in this moment, which is exactly this. Because I don't
Yeah, I
think
feel
that
like they
he's
had to have
anything,
intimidated the
registering
jury
anything
slightly,
in his
but
mind
I
at
think
this
also
moment.
part of it
There
has to
are
do with the
other
fact the
times
jury
where he
was
looks like the
mostly
defense
old
team's
men.
notes, and he looks like a little kid trying to cheat off of your homework. Like, he's actually studying them. But at this occasion, he's just staring, but I don't think anything is processing. I think he was told not to look at the jurors at this moment. A lot of these videos of the hotel nights would be rewatched during what Jane calls a movie night. Between Sean and I, we would have these things called movie nights where we would not have an entertainer, and we would just watch pornography, or we would watch one of our older tapes or newer tapes, and we would just role play and fantasize, and that's what we called a movie night. But also, with others, text messages are shown to the jurors, and Jane gives more context. Sometimes Combs would be with other women and would need to get excited intimately, so he would watch videos of her with Jane with another man. Interestingly, if this is true, that means he really cannot or does not like to get excited without having this element, if you will. Jane explains, it was just a pattern of his to be with another woman and then text me in the middle of the night requesting these videos. To which, at one point, Jane declines to send him the video, and he texts her, I got the phones. I'm asking you to send me what I don't have. Just do what I say, please. I'm horny. To which Jane responds, you're using my videos to get your card for someone else. Combs responds, bye. I was just asking you to send me something to watch. That's it. Good night. He sends her another message. Tell me when you can come tomorrow. At this point, Combs, cheek in his palm like a pouty kid listening to these text messages, like he's not the one that sent them. Jane reads her message out loud. I'm not coming to New York. I feel disrespected that you have to unnecessarily brag on.
But yeah, no, the prosecution really fucked this whole thing up. I honestly blame them the most.
And then you text me that you're horny and need my videos to get your dick hard to fuck someone else. It's clear you just want me there to use me for hotel. It's just so frustrating. And you have plenty of for that.
Wait,
Jane.
What did she just say?
Let me explain. So Jane explains to the jurors that she had seen a podcast episode where Combs is on the podcast bragging about going on a trip with another woman and how they were intimate for 48 hours straight. I think it was in a very specific podcast episode that they have now taken down that part. The rest of the podcast episode is still up, but that part is gone.
Okay, and what is the podcast?
Yeah, we're gonna get into it. Okay. So he tells her that he goes on this trip with this other woman and they were not engaged in intimate activities. He was asleep the whole time. He was tired. Then they post a podcast episode and they're talking about how they were doing intimate relations with each other for 48 hours straight. At this point, Combs starts fidgeting with his collar and his eyes are just like fixated on Maureen Comey. The jurors don't appear to have any sort of revelation or connecting of the dots moment. Press pews, public pews, everybody's jotting notes down because it's pretty clear. Most of us know what podcast Jane is referring to. It is titled Young Miami and Diddy Talk Their Relationship Status, Dating, Love, Records, and More on Carisha Please. There is another episode in reference to some of this stuff. It's another episode of Carisha Please, but Carisha is Young Miami's name. Now, Young Miami was part of the City Girls, and this podcast was posted June of 2022. This is before the lawsuit, before the charges, before the arrest, before anybody knew anything about Diddy's personal life. She was actually Combs' latest public relationship to his prior to his arrest. It seems like Combs would have public-facing girlfriends like Kim Porter, Cassie, Young Miami. And then it seems like he had a ton of girlfriends that were either influencers, just like women that were not publicly known. And he would not want it to get out that they were perhaps seeing each other. Now, Young Miami and Combs went to the last Met Gala together that he was able to go to. And there's a lot of interesting theories about Young Miami's relationship with Combs. Some people think that she participated in freak-offs because she had white nails. Some people think that she didn't and that this was literally just like a PR relationship. People have lots of opinions. But the podcast, to give you an overview, Carisha introduces her podcast guest, Diddy, as the one and only Mr. Billionaire Diddy.
Today's guest, we got the one and only Mr. Billionaire Diddy.
You call me Billionaire Dick?
Yeah.
Yeah, the motherfucking one and only. What's up?
He literally cannot stop smiling. And it's crazy because, like, you can see some of these aspects of him come out in court. Like, they have, like, spurts where he's very cocky. His body language is like, I'm the man of the house body language. But then he reserves it, and he reins it back in. But when you watch this podcast episode, she introduces him, and he says, the one and only, what's up? Like, he's very, like, fuck yeah, that's me. Okay, no, to be really fair, I don't know if they were ever even confirmed to be dating, but for example, in the podcast, Carisha asks him, so what the do you have
my
going
God.
on? What's
Anytime
your relationship status?
Someone asks me to say
Combs
uwu, I
responds,
just think
I'm
of
single.
the
I'm single, but I'm dating.
Hannah
I'm just taking my
Owo
time with
audio,
life.
where she's just like,
So she's like, so what are we? We date. We're dating.
I don't know. This is just my
we
voice.
go and
I don't
have
know what
dates.
you
We're
want me to
friends. We go to
say.
exotic locations. We have great times. We go to strip clubs. We go to church. Church? I'm gonna take you to church.
Also, like, what
Now,
happened
mind
to
you,
her?
Jane
Anyone
appears
know?
to testify that she's watching and listening to this podcast because Combs tells her that their relationship is strictly
She
PR.
got banned off TikTok last I saw.
Carisha asks in the podcast, do you consider yourself toxic? Would you say you're toxic? I would say that it gets toxic. I'm not trying to be toxic. though.
Right, I feel so
But
bad
you
for
are
her. It was
toxic.
really funny though.
Yeah, I mean, I think at times, but I'm not trying to give that. Are you a cheater?
I remember I follow her on
Combs leans
I
forward,
follow her
puts his
on
elbows on his knees in
Twitter
the podcast, not in the
and
courtroom. I think that like a lot of his
I
businessman
was
poses, you'll
following
see
her
it
on
on his
TikTok, but I think her
podcast.
TikTok got
Are you a
banned.
cheater?
And
I
then
used to be a cheater. I'm not a cheater no more.
Used to be.
I'm a truth teller now.
I
Honest,
never
I'm gonna
see
give it to you
anything on
honest.
Twitter.
I ain't trying to be
which is
lying,
annoying.
ducking, hiding, hurting nobody's feelings, none of that. Which, side note, Carisha also asks in this podcast, missionary or doggy style. He says missionary because he likes to look people in the eyes, which is ironic because multiple of the entertainers have said that he's very dodgy with eye contact. In fact, they are warned ahead of time, to not make eye contact with Combs in the corner.
Funny.
He also tells her that he's going to drop
Don't make eye
250K
contact with him in
taking
the
her on a shopping
corner.
spree.
It's
$250,000.
such funny phrasing,
In
bro.
a separate
I swear
podcast,
to
Carisha
God.
says that she loves when guys pee on her, which a lot of the
my
comments at
God.
the times were saying things like, her relationship with P. Diddy makes so much sense now. But now, after the trial, people
She's
are
still
saying,
on OF.
oh,
Nice,
that is
nice.
reminiscent of when Cassie was told to be urinated on by the entertainer. So there's sub conspiracies of how involved Young Miami was involved in the lifestyle, if she was a victim in any of this but does not want to come forward, if she's not. I don't know if that's like the main conversation to be having, but it is out there.
I mean, I can see why people would ask the question, but
Your payments are showing. But with Apple Cash, your payments are private by default. No public feeds, awkward reactions,
your
or
payments are
unnecessary
showing.
payment drama. Apple Cash lets you send cash in messages right in the conversations you're already having. Personally, it's almost always a race with my family and friends to put your card down for dinner and insist that you pay for everyone. However, if
Thank
it's a
you,
meal that's
Queen.
super expensive, or my idea originally to go out, I feel at
Thank you
ease
for the
knowing I
ad
can
read.
always Apple Cash them something privately. With Apple Tap to Cash, you can pay someone next to you without looking up a username or scanning a QR code. Just hold your iPhone near someone else's to send. Almost instantly, you'll receive a notification from your Apple Wallet that your Apple Cash balance has changed.
Yeah, that works.
Now, if you want to spend it, you just keep it right there in the same wallet you use for Apple Pay. No external apps needed. But let's say you want to put it away and save it. You can transfer your Apple Cash straight to your bank account. Switch to Apple Cash and start sending privately. Apple Cash services are provided by Green.Bank, member FDIC. Now, Jane references in the testimony that Combs had said in this podcast, like, you made Papa proud because they went 48 hours on a yacht trip to this exotic location and they were doing it for like 48 hours straight. It's not in the original podcast anymore. We did try to spend some time looking for it, but I don't know if it's necessarily that pertinent. Now, the podcast interview, what did Sean say on that podcast interview? Jane responds, on the podcast interview, he was bragging about how he had intimate relations for 48 hours straight. When he has told her, quote, he was saying that there was no sex involved during this trip, that it's not like that, it wasn't a
Dude, I
big deal,
hate
and it was
when
just a quick
my iPad won't listen to
turnaround
me.
trip and just kind of downplayed the whole thing. Combs starts shaking his head no at this point. Jane explains that Combs promised her that she was going to have this exact same yacht trip. But after a 2-day hotel night, they were so tired that all they did afterwards, they didn't go on the yacht. They just rest, sleep, recover.
She's like, I
he
wanna
keeps
be on the fucking
promising all
yacht.
of
What the
these
hell?
things, and then he hangs the hotel night over her head, and then when they're
Oh,
done,
yeah.
he doesn't
So
follow
much
through.
lore.
Then a few weeks later, he takes, allegedly, Young Miami on another yacht trip. And Jane says that after seeing this podcast, she, quote, voiced my frustrations and my hurt
Go
from seeing
check
that.
out
But again, Combs just dismisses
her
her feelings,
website.
just texting
You
her,
should.
girl, that was podcast talk. I haven't even had sex. Meanwhile, the jurors are leaning forward. Many of them are reading these messages because, yeah, it does sound kind of dismissive. Later, he invites her to another hotel night, and he's just convincing her. He's further explaining how the trip was nothing and just trying to calm me down and saying that they didn't even have intimate relations. It was nothing. It was so quick. It was so short, and how hard it was to even have intimate relations on a boat and just downplaying it. Combs is again
you
shaking his head
did
no.
do stuff
Now,
on the
biggest
boat,
thing that the
is
government
what
has
I'm
to prove
hearing.
to the jurors is that Jane was coerced into having these hotel nights with Combs. The problem is, because Combs has been so dismissive about her saying anything about how she doesn't want a hotel night, she doesn't get to have these elaborate conversations with him where she's like, hey, I don't want to do this. That is why the government brings in her notes apps. Like, you know, on
Lol.
the notes app on your phone,
Yeah.
you can make like a journal entry.
Yeah.
So they bring that in as evidence of state of mind, and they're able to get this
Oh.
admitted.
That is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I remember somewhere someone said like even if you delete it, they can still.
Yeah.
Is that what happened, or
Um,
or just the fact that they pull up her notes app?
I think they pulled it up, and I think forensic analysts were able to confirm that it was not edited after a certain date, and that it was actually created on the dates that it said to have been created.
That is so interesting.
I'm sure they do their due diligence, so
Yeah.
it seems like this was written at the time that they say it was.
Wow.
Now, the government is able to get this admitted into evidence, and then they ask, and then after you wrote your thoughts and your feelings out in your notes, what did you do with what you had written in those notes? Sometimes I would feel better just getting it out and writing it. Sometimes I would just have the courage to actually send it to him. November 26, 2022. So this
Damn,
is
she
1
actually
year
sent it?
before Cassie's lawsuit is filed.
That's
Once this
surprising.
note is admitted into evidence, Combs is so close to that evidence screen, he's basically eyeballs touching. I mean, it's a little dramatic, but you get it. He's looking for Waldo. Jane reads out the note. I've just been waiting for you to do all the things you promised me and nothing. You hurt my feelings every time. You dismiss me. It's belittling. You always ask of me. And when I ask of you, it's a problem, or I'm made to feel weird about it. I don't know what you're calling me for, but I'm sorry. I don't want to do drugs for days and days and have you use me to fulfill your freaky wild desires in hotel rooms. Jane
she's
says that she
spitting.
wrote this because after every hotel night, he always made her feel like they were going to spend quality time together just after the hotel
Which
night.
is
but
the
it would
same
never
shit he
happen.
did to Cassie.
Jane says that she wrote this in her notes app because she doesn't have the courage a lot of the times to even text most of this to Combs. Then another one from December 12th, 2022. Even with this one, Combs is like all the way leaning in, reading this message. And he kind of gives himself a self-hug. His right arm is on his left shoulder, and you can see his fingers tapping with each word that Jane is saying of the notes. Jane reads, "But for what? You want to call me for what? You gonna ask me to come over to put you to bed because you were partying with another girl the night
touch the
before?
screen.
Ask for foot rubs and sleep until the next day to take another
True, we
girl
didn't
on a
have
date?
intimate
Or ask me to
relations
come over
to
because you want
ex-
escapism or debauchery? Keep me up for 3 days straight and then send thousands of roses and cars and jewelry and private island trip date nights for
Exported
someone else
that
and leave me
test?
to clean
What am
up
I
my
trying to
house and
say?
recover
Oh my
alone?
God.
I'm
Fuck, my
done
brain.
being used by you. You are hurtful and damaging
I'm
for
tired.
me. I have to pull away from you because you have just crossed too many lines. You want me to call you for what? So you can convince me to come over around you and what? Put you to bed and give you foot rubs because you were fucked up from partying with whoever the night before? Have me just
Lol.
sit there while you're calling, texting, FaceTiming, and sending voice notes to other girls? Or have me locked up in my hotel? Or trash my house for a 3-day dirty escapism binge? Have me do all of that just to turn around to leave me and clean up and recover on my own while you buy thousands of things for other women? I'm done being used by you. I don't feel good around you, and I need to stay away from you.
Like, is she
Side
wrong?
note, sometimes the hotel nights would be at Jane's house. So she would have to clean up
Dude,
all of it by
fuck
herself.
that.
So she's coming down from drugs. She's cleaning up all this baby oil. And she says, just trying not to think too much about what just happened and the reality of me being alone cleaning up after this and how that would affect me.
Fuck
Another
that,
note from
dude.
February 22nd, 2023. You lied straight to my face. You didn't care what I would see or how it would hurt me. All you wanted was another hotel night and use me before your trip, like you've been doing to me for the past 2 years. I've deprived myself of romance, love, travel, deep, meaningful connections, and sitting back patiently watching you do all the things I wish you would do for me. You lied because you wanted to use me for the night. You lied. I can't get this image of you lying to my face out of my head. You lied so you could use me for that night. You lied because you knew you had a whole vacation planned. You lied and said
glad
you had
that
no time for me
something
because you were stressed from work.
Made it click for her.
Combs starts rubbing his temples with his hand while studying the document. Then another entry from September 15th, 2023. This is 2 months before Cassie's lawsuit drops and almost exactly a year to the date before Diddy's arrest. She writes in her notes, as much as I want to see you, I don't want to come there and be treated like a hoe in a hotel room for the millionth time. I don't want to come to New York just to be treated like this hoe. As much as I want to see you, I just know what you want me out there for. It doesn't make me feel good. You got other women available who are willing to do that. I think that you guys and I, perhaps from covering so many true crime cases and just staying really well informed, I think that we tend to have a really good understanding of why victims do not leave allegedly abusive relationships. I think that we also have a good understanding of like even how the dynamics in like a cult work. Obviously, standing from the outside, we can all walk up and down the street patting ourselves on the back, being like, yeah, I'm too smart to fall for a cult. That can't ever be me. But you don't really know. A lot of cults don't prey on people that are at the height of their lives or at the height of their autonomy and self-esteem. Usually they look for very specific types of people. And abusive relationships operate in similar ways. And I'm not alleging anything about the Combs enterprise is even reminiscent of a cult. But I will say there were jarring moments where we're in the courtroom. We see a lot of these ex-assistants testifying, and the way that they have
very much
so
like a cult.
much emotionally complicated relationships with Combs it is reminiscent of like when we hear people who escape from a cult testifying or doing interviews. It's complicated. They think everything that's happened to them is the worst thing that can happen, but at the same time they still harbor some love, and they say, that time I grew a lot. It's just so complex, and there's so much nuance in these dynamics. But I will say, when you go online or when you go on the street, I don't know if most of society sees those things.
Yeah.
I mean, even Cassie's testimony, it was polarizing.
Unfortunately,
to some members of society. And jurors are supposed to be reflections of society. And I don't want to assume or tell you what the jurors are thinking, because I'm not a mind reader. I don't know any of these people personally.
You're right,
I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what a smirk means to them. They could literally be smirking about something unrelated, a distant memory. However, I will tell you what I've observed, and I will say that there are certain moments throughout Jane's testimony, and I think even the defense catches on to this, because during the cross-examination, they hone in on these topics. I think there are certain topics that the jurors may not like. So, for example, I think that some of the jurors, maybe they can understand Jane up to a certain point in some of the experiences she shares.
This is very
so, for example, in 2023, Jane goes to Miami to
unfortunately.
celebrate her birthday with Combs. This is February of 2023. Cassie's lawsuit is November of 2023. So this is prior. She says that she's just bubbling with excitement because it's finally supposed to be this romantic moment with Sean Combs, and she says, I just expected quality time with my partner, just a birthday celebration, dinner, us, togetherness. I remember we were at dinner and I was dressed up for him. We were at a sushi place and I was really just happy to be around my lover, and he was just so loving and sweet as always. And then he starts to tell me, and I'm so excited to see what entertainment is tonight. Something like that. How did you react when Sean brought up entertainment? I just gulped, like I had this like gulp moment, like something was stuck in my throat, like because I didn't expect that. I said entertainer, like I was just kind of, I didn't really have the words, and he was like, well, it's your birthday. I thought you just wanted to have fun for your birthday. It's your birthday. We should try something for your birthday.
Girl, that's
after
what
the
you
birthday
want.
dinner, he gives her a birthday necklace. And right after, a man comes into the hotel room. Jane says, I just remember at this point in our relationship, this just had become so routine that it was the same rhythm, almost like robotically, and just the same thing, just small talk. I'm in lingerie, I'm flirting with the guy, and I'm just getting things comfortable and nice in the moment. She says that she just wanted to be someone else, turn into someone else. Quote, just somebody who can just perform, just tune into somebody that can just do this and just get into it. I just remember we were much quicker. I was much quicker with this person. I didn't know him. He felt more like a stranger to me more than anyone. And I just felt like it was even more invasive of a moment because it was my birthday. And I didn't want to do this on my birthday. And I sat there. I was already on the couch. I just wanted to get into position to have intimate relations so that we could just get it over with. Jane says that she asks Combs for protection, and he starts getting very upset. Quote, I remember Sean giving me these really bad looks, like these really dirty looks,
it's
like
1:30,
shaking his head,
chat.
like you better not ask for a fucking condom. Like I remember those words out of his mouth.
Hold on,
I
how
could
much
just
time we
read
got
it.
left?
She starts sobbing through her responses. I just try to play it off like I didn't see it, and I take his energy and like.
All right, we still got 20 minutes left on this, so we might have to pause it here and finish it on Teddy's stream.
And I didn't want to like sour the mood. This is on her birthday. Why didn't you want to sour the mood? Because I just didn't want my partner to be unhappy with me. Combs grabs her protection, hands it to them, and the man starts having intimate
Alright, well,
relations
we
with Jane.
got
But
pretty
Combs is
far.
not having it. She says he hated it. He was just like walking away. He was so disinterested. Even while this was happening, he just seemed so disappointed in what was happening, and it just made me feel really, really bad. I just wanted it to be over. The man leaves. Jane thinks it's over now. They end up switching to a different hotel room, like a hotel suite, bigger. And what happened when you got to the bigger suite? I remember he shifted his energy.
Wait
he
till
was more
she's
loving. He was
finished doing this
celebratory.
part.
He had a surprise for me at the table of that suite, and it was cake, flowers. I think there was another bracelet, and just drinks and balloons, and he made that suite look really nice for me when we got there. After that, we just had a bit of rare alone time, and then I don't even know how, I don't even remember, but then Cabral comes. I remember when Cabral came, it was just hours and hours of that. Hours and hours of what, Jane? Intimate relations, foreplay, pleasing, just doing so much, just doing all of it. I don't even know how long Cabral was there. I don't know if it was multiple rounds, I don't know. But by the time he left, it was morning. After Cabral left, what if anything do you remember Sean saying to you? That Dawn was coming? How did you react when you heard that Dawn was coming? I reacted like it was nothing, but inside I hated it. Why did you react like it was nothing if you hated it? Because I love my partner. A juror in the very first row at this point, a lot of the press are trying to get a better look at them because it appeared that they were crying, but it turned out to be allergies. So it's, like I said, it's very hard to interpret. But Jane continues with her testimony. She says that after all of this, he just up and leaves her in the hotel room and goes on vacation with another girl. She says, it broke my heart because I just finished spending my birthday with all these guys having intimate relations with
Dude,
me.
that would piss me off
And then
so
just
fucking
for my
bad.
partner to leave and do such a romantic gesture for someone else. It also happened to be that woman's birthday around the same time.
We don't know who though.
Allegedly Young Miami. She does confront him in a text later, and he just responds coldly, because I didn't feel like telling you what I was doing with somebody else. You had your birthday, and I didn't tell her what I was doing with you, and that's the way I want to keep it. Thank you, love. Hope you have a great dinner. Jane says the big betrayal, too, is that he took her to Turks and Caicos, which is exactly where she wanted to go back with him, since that's where they went on their first vacation. She texts him about how hurt she is, and he just responds, you look like you had a great party, and we had a good time. Stay in the light.
Okay, pausing here. Yes. Okay. Okay, chat. Actually, I'm just gonna get rid of that because I don't know if I want that one or not. Alright, let me swap. And we're back here. Hi. Alright. So, for the rest of today, I will be over on, well, not for the rest of today. For part of today, I will be over on Teddy's channel from 2 o'clock to 4:30, and then we will be on Twitch at 5:30 until 9. So if you want to hang out with me, I can hang out with you later on Twitch. I'll see you there. And if you just want to hang out with chat and stuff in general, I will be moving stream over to Teddy Chan's stream after this. So yeah, you can go watch her next. How do I where? Oh fuck, how do we do it? I forgot already. Wait. Redirect. Yes. I found it. Okay. It'll redirect you to Teddy's stream. Otherwise, I will see you there. Her stream starts at 2. So, yeah. Otherwise, I'll see you on Twitch later tonight. Alright? Bye! Enjoy the outro. Bye!